Good morning and welcome to the Sewing Quarter. I'm Natasha McCarthy. You've got me for the next 4 hours. So get your sewing fix here. Coming up this morning, we've got lots of things for you. We're starting out with a beginner's quilt for you. So let's see all of the hours that we've got for you this morning. Let's take a look. So yes, our cute koala quilt coming up. At 9 o'clock, Lucy Brennan's here with Quilting Corner. At 10 o'clock, we're getting comfy and cozy. And at 11 o'clock, we've got technique time back with that quilting. So that's what we've got coming for you today. All about those quilts and a little bit more. So let's think, if you are a beginner quilter and you want to do a quilt, or maybe you just want to do a quilt in a hurry, something gorgeous, something quick, and something maybe for a little baby to lie on, but cute is of the essence, then here we go. We've got the koalas. Shall I spin those around? There they are. So this is a brand new fabric for you today. Super cute. There are your koalas. And we've teamed them with a gorgeous green, bright green. And we're going to show you how to, if you are a beginner quilter, how to get a quick quilt super fast and super cute. Now, when you start shopping with us, go onto the website. Couple of ways to do it. Go onto the website, you'll find the show. So if you go on to watch, there we go, and then watch live, and underneath there, firstly you can message us, we love to hear from you. There's a little message to studio box, or you can email, which is studio@sewingquarter.com, and then underneath there will be all the items on today's shows. They're yesterday's items. As we go through today, the items that we use will come up on that page. So it's giving you bit by bit a shopping list for you. So when you see the items, once they come up on your screen, they will go onto there, and it's for a quick, easy reference for you to find, so that you don't have to remember codes or anything like that. Or alternatively, give our free phone customer service number a ring back in the UK, which is 0800 112 4433, and it's free to phone and they will help you out. Now, if we're talking about baby quilts, then do you remember this one? From the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Love, love, love this one. Absolutely gorgeous. I may have brought the book in and read it to our guests this morning already. They loved that. This is the Very Hungry Caterpillar I Love You quilt. Now, again, if you are a beginner quilter, then look, you can do it just in one panel and work your way from there, or you can chop it up and work in bits and bobs here. But if you want to just have a 60 by 120 quilt and work it from there, then we've got the panel back in. So this is the Very Hungry Caterpillar I Love You fabric panel for $6.95. That can be the front of your quilt, should you wish. If that's the very first time you've done a quilt, perfect, job done. And Sammy's going to show us how to, transferable skills. She's going to show us how to do the koala quilt, but the same techniques and principles apply to the Hungry Caterpillar one as well. So we're going to be working with this. Now, a little heads up for you, because the Heart Caterpillar fabric, which sold out, we now have back in stock. So if you absolutely adored it but missed out on it, a little caterpillar, don't they? Then it is just gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And they've really captured the textures that are used in the book. It's just fabulous, beautiful fabric. £5.45 per half a metre. So maybe this is going to be the backing to your quilt. Maybe you're going to do other panels and blocks out of this as well. And then we've got all of the other ones as well on the show. So let's have a quick run through these for you, so then we can get on with the quilt, but you've seen them and you know which ones to go for. Let's have a look at the stars. I can't draw stars. I don't know about you. Really rubbish at drawing stars. These are generally, yeah, you see, this is somebody else that draws stars like me, a bit wonky, and I love them for it. That makes me feel very comfortable. I love that. £5.45 for your stars. But again, you've got the texture in there printed in. It's very beautiful. And then here, you've got your hearts. So this is just perfect. Is there a, hang on. There's a sleepy caterpillar in the heart somewhere. Shall I find him? There he is. Oh, look, isn't that just adorable? Absolutely adorable. Now, you know, maybe you're making for a grandchild, maybe you're making for a friend's child, maybe you're like me and all your friends seem to be having babies or have just had babies. It goes through, doesn't it, sort of periods like that. Then these are great gifts. Quick, easy blankets should you wish to make them. But it's really gorgeous and very different. I've never seen anything like this on the high street. Now, the texture fabric, the red texture fabric, yeah, look at this. So again, this one great for backing or your binding, just £4.95 per half a metre here. All from the Very Hungry Caterpillar range, so you know that the textures and the colourways, they're gonna really work together. TXMY50, and last but by no means least, and I think this is probably the one that we all would recognise most. You could look at that and know within an instant that that's from the Very Hungry Caterpillar, inspired by the book, of course, which I think has been translated into, so many, 60 odd languages, something ridiculous like that. It is a book that all people have read, and if not, why not? And so on previous shows, things like this have been made. So if you're buying the panel, the I Love You panel, then why not make something like this? And you can just see absolutely gorgeous. And there's that heart fabric on the inside. So lots of ways to play with these, but today we're going to focus on a beginner's quilt. I should be paying attention. Right. Let's take the koalas and mosey on over to our guest, because we've got this morning Sammy Claridge. Hello. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. Now, brand new today.
Yeah, I love this. I love this fabric, isn't it? It's just the cutest.
We have, when we prep our shows, we have a list of all the products that are coming up on the show today. And there's a little space down the bottom which just says notes. And invariably that's left blank.
Yes.
But this morning, the only note on the whole of today's shows was next to the koala fabric, which just went, cute!
Yeah.
Exclamation mark. And that
totally.
is the overriding feeling with this. It is really, really gorgeous. And it's just fun, isn't it? It's cute, it's fun.
Just the little critters are so adorable.
I'm not sure if is it directional?
No,
not really.
It goes every direction. You're
they
right.
go all over the place, which is why it's a great beginner's fabric, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because you don't have to worry about things being in the right direction. I mean, I suppose vaguely it goes from one side to the other, but you know, even so, it's really good for beginners because you don't have to worry about things turning up being the wrong way up.
Now, you made this big old quilt here.
Yes.
How much fabric did you use with this one?
This is just under 1 metre square.
Oh, okay.
This one.
How wide is the fabric then?
The fabric is 1 metre and 15, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And they gave me 1 metre and they gave me 2 because I had to make prep. So.
Aha. Excellent. And I love that you've picked out the green there to back it. But
we
of course,
thought it looked really fresh with the green.
We'll run through our different backing options that we've got on the show for you today. Now, the other thing that we need to give you a heads up on, because I don't think this will last very long.
No, it definitely won't.
You know the company that brings us Insulbright? You know, that wadding that reflects the heat and we can't keep it in stock? That one, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
From the same company comes Warm and White. Now, this is a bleached cotton batting.
Yeah.
Slash wadding,
yeah.
Depending on which side of the Atlantic you want to play on.
Yeah.
And because it's bleached and it is white there, it's got the reflection of the yellow there. No, again. It means that you can use it with lighter fabrics like this one, and it doesn't dull the colour. It keeps it nice and bright.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen this before. It's also warm, natural, breathable.
Yeah.
It's been needle. What's the word I want?
Yeah.
Felted, so it's going to breathe.
Yes.
Lovely. Yeah. But, and this is the great thing with this, I know we're a bit early to mention Christmas, but I'm just going to get it out there and say that you don't just have to use it on the inside of your quilts. And they suggest themselves, it says here, just imagine frosty white snowmen, radiant angels and gleaming polar bears with this. Now, you've got it there, haven't you?
I don't think I've ever felt a wadding that is this snuggly, is the word I want to use. Snuggly. It's soft. I I was so, when I took it out of the packet, I was so surprised because I'm used to using, I use quite a lot of polyester wadding, to be honest, but when I'm doing craft projects, and I've used cotton wadding before, but never anything as soft and as fine, lightweight as this.
This, you know, when they take the cotton off the cotton plants.
Yes.
This is exactly what I imagine it to feel like.
Yeah.
And it is.
Snuggly, cozy.
It's taken off. Basically, it's cotton from America, from the cotton plants in America, and that's how it is. And it's absolutely perfect. And it's just a lovely quality thing. This is also from the company that bought you Warm and Natural. So if you've used Warm and Natural before, then it's very similar. But this is the Warm and White. So it's bleached. So that, again, using it with this, if you're using the white panel for the Very Hungry Caterpillar, because, of course, it's not going to dull.
Yeah,
because
it'll
it's
keep that bright whiteness underneath.
Yeah.
And even with this, you know, this gorgeous fabric, this bright yellows with the white sections in it, it's going to look really bright and vibrant and white. It's not going to take anything away
I
from
hadn't
the
even
fabric.
thought about a wadding dulling anything. It hadn't even occurred to me. And it was only when I read it, I was like, no, you're so right. And so the company said, you asked for it, they brought it. So this has been because it's what quilters like yourselves have been asking for. And by demand, here it is. Now, this is, you get a lot. Now, it says a baby size, but it's 45 inches by 60 inches. Sammy, what's that in normal?
1.15 by 1.5 meters.
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
115 by 150.
So if you wanted to do a true square, then you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Fabulous. And you'd have a little bit left over. Pop that in your basket. It's at a great price as well of just $8.95. So actually, this is a very affordable quilt that we're doing here.
Well, yeah, apart from anything, that's an amazing price for that quantity of wadding, for this quality of product as well. That's why I think this is going to go really fast. Because it's a great size, great for beginners.
I'll tell you this.
You'll get a little bit left over to do your appliques if you want to as well.
So many are multi-buying already.
No, I'm not surprised.
Many of you multi-buying. So this information for this product here, your Warm and White batting / wadding, depending.
Yes.
And the only difference in terminology is what side of the Atlantic you live on. Batting or wadding, it's the same thing. Your Warm and White here, it is down there. $8.95. We'll keep it there for you so that you know. We will reference it again because, you know, some people aren't up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No. Although
or they just
early bird catches the worm and all that.
Walking the dog, doing whatever. Now, this koala. Can we name him?
I think we should. Well, there's more than one because there's one and there's a little one as well, little kiddo to go with.
Oh, look, and there's a darker one there with a flower in his hair.
Yeah. So do you think
that's
mum and dad and little one baby?
I think it is a koala family going on.
Adorable.
Yes.
Can't get over how cute it is.
No one expected a family of koalas this morning, now did they? But we've got it here for you at Sewn Quarter. Now, this is a basic quilt that we're going to do today.
Yeah, we wanted to go through the basics of if you've never done a quilt before, or if you're a dressmaker and you've shied away from doing quilts and you think, oh, actually, I'd quite like to make one for my niece, nephew, grandchild, child, where to start so that it's not too overwhelming. Because I think a lot of people look at patchwork quilts and go, wow, they're amazing, but that's a whole lot of work that I'm not ready for. So this is definitely an entry level. I mean, I would say if you're a seasoned quilter, turn off, because this is not, you're not going to enjoy watching me do this. Because we are cheating a little bit.
You never know.
Obviously, and the gorgeous fabric. But yes, I would say this is really basic techniques, really simple, straightforward, would ease you in to quilting so that you would
unashamedly simple. Yeah. And sometimes that's just what we need. It could be that actually you don't have the time you want to send something that is handmade, that says, I'm thinking of you, congratulations. Or for me, this is the sort of thing that I would keep on the back seat of the car for when Freddie has gone in many a puddle. Yes. I've had to take trousers, boots, everything off because he's just completely soaked, and then he complains he's cold. This is perfect.
It is. And
because it's warm and it's a great size, and actually something like that I don't want to have slaved away. Could you imagine wrapping a muddy child in something that had taken you weeks?
You would be so peeved, wouldn't you?
So this is perfect.
Yeah, and I must admit I'm a bit on the fence with patchwork. I love seeing patchworking, but I'm not a fan of taking a beautiful fabric and cutting it up. That makes me feel a bit... I like to see like the whole fabric
uneasy.
Print original. So this
Then
kind of
your
quilt
way.
for me is perfect. Same with the panel. I love the panel situation because again you get to kind of embellish the fabric as it was intended, as opposed to cutting it up and joining it together.
It is a panel situation, ladies and gentlemen. We have a panel situation going on this morning.
So yeah, that's my this is you know, I'll choose a fabric that I like and feature it and make it the star of the show. So this for me is perfect.
Touching the fabric, the cotton itself is super soft, and then that wadding really just gorgeous. Macawa, so lovely. Macawa, like you say, Macawa fabric, 100% cotton. Where do we start?
So we start with layering up. We've got the this is obviously a much smaller version. I've made 4 small step versions to show people.
But to be fair, presumably you could do that and...
Well, yeah, no reason why not to make little lap quilts. Not a problem at all. Or if you've got a little pussycat and you want to put it in the, you know, in the base of the bed.
My cat would love that.
That's probably a bit big for my little black and white cat, Stella. She's very, very small.
You could tuck her in.
You could. Yeah. Whereas this one is perfect size for her. So I've started by cutting my top panel, and I've cut them generously.
Okay.
Because we're going to cut it down to size.
Okay.
To make sure. So I would always say, you know, be a little bit... cut a little bit over to the finished size that you want. So you are going to finish off having it exactly the size by the time you've binded it.
Right.
So I always cut over.
Right.
And I've cut over with my top piece, and I've cut my wadding. Again, you can see I've cut very generously with my wadding because I just cut it into 4. And then underneath I've got my backing fabric piece there as well. And again, that's generously cut. Okay. So that when we cut everything in, when we've measured it all and done our quilting, drawn our quilting lines, we can get it all nice and square and sorted out.
So that's your first bit. Cut it to the bigger than the size you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then I've smoothed them together. If you wanted to, you could use spray based or something, or you could just tack it in place. I'm just going to pin because we're doing it reasonably fast today.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So the next step would be to mark out the lines that I want to do for my quilting.
Okay.
So I've done a few different options to show. So obviously this one has got like tram lines. And then this one's just got basic squares. So that's just basic squares.
Do we need a walking foot to do this?
I would advise having a walking foot.
Okay.
I did this one without a walking foot.
Right.
The original, the big one. And what you can see happens if you don't have a walking foot is that sometimes you'll get a little... I'm going to try and find it where I did it now. Here we are. You get a little bit of puckering sometimes, particularly when... Here we are. This is a little bit that you can see. You see that there? It's just where you're coming to where you've done the stitching. You probably can't see it very well, actually. It looks pretty good. Quite impressed with my own work.
Yes, good job.
What you just get is you can see, probably, Natasha, you get a little bit of puckering where the lines joint. You can see the shadow across there. You just get a little bit of puckering, which is a bit awkward sometimes. If you don't have that walking foot, that's what can happen. Also, the underneath layer can move whilst you're stitching. So the walking
looks like
foot...
a branch. I wouldn't have even noticed.
I know. But I noticed because there's the kind of... There we go. I'm trying to find one. Yeah, there we are. It's a bit more obvious, that bit there as well.
Oh, so, okay. So...
But honestly, I mean, this was without a walking foot. Lucy earlier, who I was very impressed, was impressed with my work. You know, when another quilter looks at it and goes, "Oh, that's very nice. How did you do that without a walking foot?" And you're like, "Well,
just like this, just like this."
So I have got a walking foot on our machine here today, but this is just our normal 540 machine. This is not a fancy machine.
So you don't need a super duper, all whizzy, all singing, all dancing machine. So
no, not at all.
Put you off.
The walking foot is, you can get these all over the place. You know, as long as you get one that is designed for your machine,
then you'll be fine.
Then it's just a straightforward walking foot attached to a regular machine. You don't have to have a quilting machine. Again, if you're starting out, you don't want to invest in thousands of pounds worth, although they're worth it, of machinery if you're not sure if it's going to be for you. This is a great way to kind of ease yourself into to getting started.
But again, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's a nice to have. But as we've seen, you know, we really struggled to see the 2 little pieces of puckering on an entire quilt. So it's one of those things. Don't let it stop you from doing it. Give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll love it, and then you'll probably want to buy one.
But the thing is, it's like quilting, like any of these sewing or any hobby really, I would say, is that obviously if you dive straight in and buy everything all to start with, sometimes you get a bit overwhelmed and it can be a bit...
What is it they say? All the gear and no idea.
Well, yes, absolutely. Whereas this is a great way to, as you say, to ease yourself in, to get yourself started, to kind of
know it's for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can build up your stash. You know, build up your stock of tools and things like that.
So talking of tools, how are we gonna mark this out? What do we need?
So I'm going to use the water erasable pen, only because I don't want this to disappear whilst I'm doing it, particularly if it's something that I've got to do that's going to take me a while. Also, I quite like that this is brown, and obviously it looks quite nice on the yellow. Because if I forget to get rid of any,
it looks like
it doesn't actually matter so much. So that's quite good.
And again, the first thing I think when you start to quilt is get yourself a ruler. Get yourself a proper quilting ruler. Yes. This one is from So Easy. It's laser cut, so it's super accurate. It's $15.95, YPGQ10. We have lots of different variations. This one is great because, of course, it's got that length to it. So it is 24 by 6.5 inches. That's 61 by 16 centimetres. We have to give you centimetres because it's actually the law. But it is all in inches. There you go. So what are you marking?
So I've used my straight of grain. So this is a torn edge here that so I know that is exactly straight with my straight of grain because I tore it.
So that when you tear, you're tearing along the, the warp or the weft. Which one is it?
Depends which way you go.
It depends which way you go. Yeah. So
you can do it
against
both
one
ways.
it is just going exactly straight.
Yes, or you can use the selve edge as well if you want to. So obviously that is a very straight edge.
Yes.
But you can, particularly with tearing, you know, when a fabric frays, that's the best way to find your straight of grain because you can pull and make sure that you've got your last one.
So when you get an entire one that pulls entirely from one
so you can see this edge here has started to kind of, I'm going into my fabric here.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? Because
this edge wasn't very straight. So yeah, as soon as you get one straight one that pulls all the way across, that's your straight of grain. So that's quite an easy way to find your straight of grain.
See, it's little tips, isn't it? That, you know, some of us would panic because bits were fraying, but actually, if you know how to use that fray to your advantage...
Yes. Again, that's a good reason why to cut generously when you're, you know, doing something you want to be super square, so that you know that you've got space to work inwards to your final design.
Perfect.
A bit like with dressmaking, you always cut the size... You know, cut on the generous side so that you can take it in because you can't
take it out again. You have to dye it. Yes, we don't want to do that.
No. All right, so I've marked my first straight line with my straight of grain, and then I'm going to use that line to work across the rest of the panel.
Okay.
So I'm just going to mark up 6-inch squares using my ruler, and then I would normally do squares to start with, just straight of grain. Like I've done with this one. And then you can work across. You can see what I've done on the back of this one here. So I've left that one fully marked up. So I started with the straight of grain, and then I went diagonally across.
Now, that's been done with a white thread, but obviously that's the pen that would just been left in. You'd just wash that out. It's super simple. When you get your cotton fabrics, obviously give them a quick wash first if you don't want any shrinkage, if you don't want that puckering from the shrinkage, because all cottons will shrink. However, having said that, the batting, the wadding, is already pre-washed.
Yes.
Happy days. Now, whilst you mark that up, I'm going to take you through the plain ones because... Oh! Wendy says she loves fabric, but she wants to see the backing fabric. She wants to see the green for the backing fabric. Now, we've given you 2 green options there. Oh, and a bias binder maker. Here we go. So, these are from our Spectrum Solid range by Mikawa, 100% cotton and 100% lovely. This is your green. This is the one, this is your lime. This is the one that we've used on the back of this quilt. But you see, look, you're just picking up that bright green out there, so it's nice, cheery, and doesn't matter. I mean, whether you're doing it for a boy or a girl, it just doesn't matter. And that's the lovely thing, because you know, people start out having one, often they have another, and they have a different flavour, and then it's one of those things that can be passed down.
A different flavour.
Yeah. So your green, there we go, and then do you want to go for the next green? So maybe you want a slightly darker green because there's a two-tone leaf. So we've got two tones in the greens. So there we go. If you want a slightly darker green there, again, $3.25 per half a metre. You decide how much you want there. And if you're using this for your backing or your binding, then, you just put in the quantity that you want. So if you want a metre, you put in 2 in the quantity. That gives you a metre, and it will be cut as a metre, not as 2 lots of half metres. Should we have a look at the red? Because then we're picking out... Oh, the red works with the Very Hungry Caterpillar too.
It does.
But it also picks out the flower in the koala's hair. Nice. It's a pretty little accent. I like that. Producer Hannah says it's making her want to go to Hawaii, and koalas aren't even in Hawaii. No, but they do have hair pieces like that in Hawaii. I see where you're going with that. I do see where you're going. $3.25. Welcome to the Sewing Quarter. We're a bit nuts here this morning. And then we've got 2 different greys for you. Let's go with the slate grey to start off with. Oh, it should be called koala grey, you're right, but it's not. It's slate grey. You'll be looking a long time for it, Producer Hannah, if you're looking for koala grey. It's slate. And we've got slate grey and we've got charcoal. So if you're after picking out the lighter grey, then that's slate. And if you're after picking out the charcoal grey, that's the darker one. Which picks out the darker-faced panda.
We thought the greys were nice because obviously quite a lot of neutral nurseries go for the yellow and grey.
Oh yes, you're right.
So we thought that obviously if the parents have decided not to find out
the
and you're making
the
flavour and you're making something for the new baby, a lot of parents will go for those neutral tones.
Yes.
So this would be a good way to go because again, koalas is a nice neutral, would look good for the girls or the boys. So.
Well, and that's the beauty of it because then it is something that can be passed down from siblings.
From brothers to brothers to sisters and vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just something that it's gorgeous. Whichever way you look at it, the koalas are uber cute. We love, love, love a spot of koala in our lives. So we're doing these squares.
So yes, just marking up squares. It's not complicated. You can use your ruler. You can be as complicated or as basic as you like. Obviously, we're doing squares. You could go crazy and do something. Obviously, with the Hungry Caterpillar one, Jo did the designs to fit the style of the fabric.
Yes.
So she quilted around the central panel and then did extra quilting at the edges, which you can do, absolutely, no reason why not. But if you're starting at the beginning, maybe start with squares and see how you feel about. Again, good way to practice your straight lines.
See, I'm on the fence about that because straight lines haven't always been my forte. Getting much better at them now, so maybe I'd be better off doing sort of a non-conforming, circly, wiggly bit because then it looks like I meant to. Yeah,
absolutely. Free motion. Why not? Go for it. Be experimental. Have a go. You know, that's the whole point of what we're trying to encourage people to do on the Sewing Quarter. Anyway, we want people to have a go and try and see how you go.
Talking of having a go, a lot of you given this a go, which is you asked for it, warm and natural. There you go. Warm and white. Okay, so this is from the company that bought you Warm and Natural. This is the white version of the Warm and Natural. It is super white because it's been bleached. There you go. It is super, super snuggly. It's cotton. It's all lovely natural cotton. Absolutely beautiful. So it's going to breathe. You can machine wash it and dry it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been pre-washed so that what you get is... what you get. There's no shrinkage there. 45 inches by 60 inches, which is 115 by
150.
150, thank you very much. That's centimetres. It says here, ideal for light and pastel fabrics.
Yes.
Excellent as an exterior fabric. Snowmen, polar bears, etc., etc. Lightweight, great for clothing. Yeah. Hadn't thought of clothing. Quilted jackets, things like that.
Yeah, cross jackets, gilets, things like that, where you want to be cosy and have a natural. Because the thing is, it's pad enough for something like this, which obviously is a gorgeous quilt, but it's not so thick. Some waddings you get, and they're very bulky.
Yeah.
Whereas this would be gorgeous for giving a little bit of strength to collars, almost like a interfacing to that level, because it is. I would say it was probably double the thickness of like a heavyweight interfacing, but it's got that little level of puffness to it. Gives it a little bit more.
And it also says that you can quilt or tie up to 10 inches apart. That seems like a large amount.
Yeah, it's a good, because it's a good quality. It's not going to, again, some of the high loft waddings are quite loose, whereas this one, because it's got that needle finish, punch finish, it's even if you wash it, it's not, again, because they've made it available, you can see I'm rubbing it there, and you're not going to get any fibres coming off. It's not fluffing up. It's staying smooth no matter what I do to it.
Nice.
So that's how you can use it and not have to, you know, quilt every inch of everything.
Just a heads up, because half the stock of that's already gone. It's made by the same company that made Insulbright. So if you bought the Insulbright and love the quality of that and the price of that, then same company. Oh no, different one. Hang on, down the bottom there. OBRW 39. If you want to grab that, lots of you multi-buying on that. I'm not surprised, and it's a nice large amount and enough perfectly for your baby quilt. Nice. So we've marked out.
Yes, I'm just marking away. I'm just carrying on.
Yeah, no, I see this. It's getting quite intricate.
I'm probably not going to quilt all of this, but...
So the koala fabric that you're seeing, also brand new today and uber lovely. What is it? Which trees do koala bears live in? Is it eucalyptus?
Yeah.
They must smell amazing. I bet they never get colds.
Yeah.
As an aside. That's a scary insight into how my brain works, isn't it? So once we've marked up, what do we do then?
Then you would pin it or tack it. I'm going to pin again today because I'm doing it quickly.
Okay.
But yes, you would. I would normally, if I was doing it, you know, in my own time with leisure, I would pop some tacking stitches centrally across to hold it in place, or spray based.
Okay.
Yeah, by hand. So just a quick running stitch, or spray based if you've got a spray adhesive tacking spray. Words not coming to this.
Words.
That kind of thing.
Words.
Yes, that would work well.
All of that. Okay, excellent.
It's basically just to stop the bottom piece and the top piece from moving around.
And so is that going to help if you're not using a walking foot?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
yeah,
right. So
absolutely. It just keeps everything, particularly with the spray. I mean, that's what I did with this one. I spray basted this. So that it didn't move around. So I think that helped because obviously didn't have the walking foot when I was doing that one.
Let's see the size of this actually. Look at it's a goodly size.
I mean, that's not even the full size of the wadding. I could have made it bigger, like 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres by a metre, which is pretty much what you get in the wadding pack.
Wow.
But they asked me to make it that size, so that's what I did.
So if you wanted to do it by 1.5 metres and use up all the wadding, that would be 3 units. It's £5.45 for the Flo's Friends koalas on yellow. Does that mean that there are other koalas on other colours? Don't know.
I don't know.
But yellow's what we've got, and it's cheery and perfect. Cheery and bright and perfect. So, what do we do now?
So I would start from the centre and work my way out.
Okay.
So I would always start with myself. Well, it's so that if your fabric moves, you don't end up with those puckers in the centre. It moves your fabric and pushes it out towards the edges, so that then you can trim them away to get your square when you're done.
Okay.
So
perfect.
I've got this is the Gutermann cotton thread from the pack that we've got, I think. Which, again, the colours for this are just absolutely perfect for this project.
Isn't it? No,
in fact, you get pretty much all of the colours in the colours that we've chosen, actually. And we picked this out after we'd chosen the colours, which was...
Happy days, it works.
Serendipity,
So this is, if I just show you the colours there, so this is 100% cotton. You've got white, beige, gold, hot pink, red. It says mint. I'm guessing the green is the mint.
I think they're calling it mint, yeah.
Baby blue, navy, mid-grey and black. This is 100% cotton. Now, we were talking about this earlier. Normally, a quilting cotton is much finer than this. But the joy of this one is that if you want to use your cotton colours to really accent and highlight...
Yeah, to give you a top stitching effect.
So you might pick out the red and be quilting in the red to match the Hawaiian flower, as we're now calling it in our Australian koala.
Yeah, or again on the hungry caterpillar, where you've got a lot of reds and pinks and stuff. Those would be gorgeous because you would be able to highlight the stitching.
You've got your green, you've got your yellow. So maybe if you're not as confident, then maybe you want to go with the yellow so that it doesn't show up.
That's what I'm using on this.
Okay. But your options are there, and then you've got your good old basics, black, grey, navy, and white over there, and a beige, and a cream. Nice. And a hot pink.
Really good value. Again,
lovely.
Like with the wadding, they're really good value because you get all of those colours. And again, great if you're starting because it gives you...
500 metres?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is.
10 of those. Details for that, $17.95. And 10 spools in there. That's good. £1.80 effectively a spool.
Yeah, and you get 500 metres.
Yeah.
And it's
100% cotton.
It's Gutermann quality. So easy, rather. Sorry, I keep saying it's Gutermann. It's not. It's so easy. Which is great quality. You know, we use their rulers and everything here as well. They have, they have a great quality thread. And as I say, great to build up your stash if you're new to quilting. You know, and you want to get into it. It's a great way to start with getting a multi-pack, because then you don't have to make decisions.
Well, no, you've got it all there. And as you said, actually, for both the fabrics that we've got, both the Very Hungry Caterpillar and our beautiful koalas, absolutely perfect for both, because the colours are absolutely there. Now, the koalas, of course, very popular this morning. Sammy, have you got any tips for how to do this bit? Because this is often the bit that puts people off.
Yes.
The actual quilting.
I would say keep it simple to start with. That's why we've gone with square shapes and diagonals. Yes. Keeping it simple. Like you say, if you want to have a go at free motion, then, you know, by all means. But I think because you're drawing lines, you've got something easy to follow. It's good to practice your straight line stitching. The walking foot, again, makes it simple to kind of chomp through. It means all your layers are going through equally. Just marking everything up, tacking, you know, doing all those extra steps that take a little bit longer. Yeah. But actually it means that you get a better result at the end of the day.
Because often we concentrate on making the blocks and we never actually get to this actual quilting stage, because it's a patchwork until you actually put those 3 layers together
and do the quilting.
And quilt.
Yes.
So this is the actual quilting part. Now, you've said to go outwards.
Yes.
Do you go outwards in just that direction, or would you also start and then...
Yes, that's what I'm going to do now. So I've done these 2 central lines here to start with, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the quilt round and again go in and do 2 central lines this way.
It's quite methodical, isn't it?
Yes, and again, kind of working out...
I find this quite relaxing.
I did. I must admit, doing the large one, you can just kind of sit and kind of go through gently through the sewing machine. You know, and again, it's a really good confidence builder. Yes. I always talk about this and getting confidence with your sewing machine. A sewing machine is a machine. It's a big piece of machinery that sits in your house. And a lot of people say, you know, they buy a machine and it sits in the cupboard for years and they don't do anything with it. Too scared to
get it out.
Yeah, because they're worried. The only way you're going to get over that fear, a bit like driving. Again, I do use that analogy a lot. But you know, you can't learn to drive without getting in a car.
It's harder.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, there's only so much theory you can learn before getting in a car, driving down the road and having a go with it. It's exactly the same with your sewing machine. You're not going to get over your fear of sewing and your sewing machine if you don't get on it and do it. Right. You know, you need to learn by making mistakes and finding things wrong with your sewing machine. You know, if you say, oh, your thread's looping and things like that, you know, you're not going to find solutions for those problems just by reading a book. You need to have a go and see how that problem occurs and what happens, and then what you do to fix it by sitting in front of your machine having a go. So this is
You're not going to break
really great. No, this is a really great
One
way
question
to get
before
going.
I go and have a look at the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Yeah, Caterpillar. Which is, Polly says,
yes.
Do you have to drop the feed dogs when using the walking foot?
No.
No, that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. What you want to do is, because obviously what your feed dogs do under your machine, normally your foot on the top stays still and your feed dogs do this. They chomp through.
They feed the material through.
Which
so
is
you
great.
get a nice even feed.
If you're only using 2 layers of fabric, what happens is when you're using 3 is that if that top stays together and the feed dogs do by themselves, the bottom layer can start to shift the fabrics. With the walking foot, what happens is that not only is the bottom going, but the top is going as well.
It's like it's chomping it up.
So it's grabbing both layers at the same time, moving them through, top layers, moving them through. So that's what the joy you get with a walking foot. So no, I don't put the feed dogs down. If you're doing
Keep the feed dogs up.
Free motion quilting, different because, again, like we were doing yesterday with the applique, with the machine applique and the free motion embroidery, very similar technique. You do want to move the feed dogs down because obviously you're going to be moving it round.
But you wouldn't use your walking foot for that,
no,
would you?
No,
so,
you would use a free motion
yeah.
foot for that, like we had yesterday, the embroidery foot with the open top. So that's a slightly different technique. So.
Nice. I'm going to leave you to finish that little bit there. We're going to come back looking at binding in a minute. But the koala fabric is ridiculously popular today. Look at the koalas. £5.45 for the ridiculously cute koalas, aka Flo's friends. Brand new today, never been seen before. These are multi-directional koalas, which means perfect for your beginner quilt. Absolutely perfect. The other thing that is absolutely perfect for your beginner quilt, if you're fancy giving something like this a go, and this is your Very Hungry Caterpillar fabric. So if you fancy giving this a go, then the batting that we've got on the show today, perfect because it's bleached and white. So that's really going to keep that uber white oomph that we've got going on here. Now, this was made out of the Very Hungry Caterpillar I Love You panel. Let me show you that. Now, in this one, they chopped it up and moved it around a little bit because you can. But if you don't want to and you just want to use the panel as one, then there you go. That is your as one panel with the Very Hungry Caterpillar there. Absolutely fabulous. 60 centimetres across by 120 centimetres down. Now, of course, if you want to then add blocks to the side, then do so by all means. This is a lovely starting place here. Big, bright, bold, and just really rather gorgeous. And of course, because you've got that contrast of those bright colours on the white, perfect for babies. So NEMY 13, just £6.95 for a great big panel like that. There you go. I'll hold that up so you can see. Isn't it fab? So lots of you multi-buying these as well. Don't blame you. It's really rather gorgeous. Love that. So, when Jo made this on a show, she's used the scattered hearts for extra blocks down the side and also as the backing as well. And it's sold out, but it's back in stock now. So if you missed out on it last time, here, shall I waft this around so that you can see the hearts and the caterpillars? Give it a waft, because you've got, every now and then you get a caterpillar on a heart. Everyone loves that caterpillar and instantly recognisable as that hungry caterpillar. I think it's because of the textures within the colour of the fabric. Perfect. Because I don't remember there being hearts actually in the book, but you see, because they've used the textures, you know straight away, and it's just a delightful fabric, quite frankly. Talking of other delightful fabrics, maybe you want to make up extra blocks and make it a much bigger if you're using the panel. Then we've got hearts, we've got stars, we've got all sorts. Where should we start? Let's start with the stars. Now, someone's messaged in and said that they made curtains for their little boy's room out of this. Well, that's perfect, isn't it? Look at that. Just delightful. It's fun, it's bright, you can pick out any other colours for their bedroom from that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. £5.45 for the stars. VUMY 83. It's those primary bright colours that are in there, aren't they, that just make it so perfect. I mean, we've got coming up later on the shows, we've got pyjama bags and things like that. There's no reason why you couldn't use this fabric to make all those sort of bags and things. Well, for instance, there we go. There's a bag instantly to hand. Well, that's using the panel and, again, the heart fabric in there. Now, do you want to see some bigger hearts? Here we go. Because look at the caterpillar. Look at him. It's the detail in this fabric which is just fabulous. Oh, look at him snoozing away there. We love this fabric. It's one of our favourites. I think it just takes everybody back to their childhood. Is there anyone in here that didn't read The Very Hungry Caterpillar when they were little? Only presenter John. That's it. Excellent. Okay, never mind. I've got the book in my dressing room. I can read it to him later. That'll be fine. Let's have a look at this red, because this is perfect for your binding. Also perfect. Here we go. Perfect for your backing as well. You decide which size you're making and just pop in the amount that you need. So half a metre, £4.95. If you're after 2 metres, then just, if you say you wanted 2 metres, that would be 4 in the quantity box. If you're confused in any way, call our customer services number. It's free phone 0800 112 4433. That's your red. Spots, last one to check out, spots. And then we're going to go and have a quick bind with Sammy and see how we do the rest of that quilt. Look at that. Oh, that's brilliant. But that's perfect, isn't it? Because maybe you are decorating a kid's bedroom. Maybe, you know, you've got children that share, so you just want bright colours rather than pink or a blue. In which case, this is perfect. You can do them cushions, you can do them hold-all bags, you could do all sorts of different things. And you've got all the different fabrics to play with. And, of course, the colours all work so well together. And it's from a book that they're going to know and love. Many are happy. I remember... every Saturday going to the library as a child, and that was always one of the books that I would pick out because you could stick the fingers through the holes. It was brilliant. Let's go back and look at the koala. There we go, brand spanking new today. Half of this is now gone. You absolutely love it. I'm not surprised. Who doesn't love a cute koala?
I don't know. They're mad if they don't.
Koala? But so many of you are. So, things to give you a heads up on. Batting. Gosh. So busy on this. So, it is just $8.95. And this will do your baby quilt. That's it done. Warm and white. This is cotton. From America, it's warm and it's natural, and it's crib size, baby crib size, which means it's 45 inches by 60 inches, and also it's been bleached white. So if you are using the Very Hungry Caterpillar or the yellow here, and you want to make sure that your batting doesn't dull, I hadn't considered that a batting would dull it or a wadding would dull in any way, but you're right. This is so super soft and just lovely. It's pre-washed. You don't have to do anything with it. You can just get straight on and use it. Super white, super soft, and it's also got the pin pricks in, so it's all been needle punched rather, so that it... Does that help it not move around as well as being more breathable?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, it means that it's not going to ruck up inside. If you've got any areas that aren't quilted, it's not going to fluff up if you're using it for applique, things like that. So I think it's gorgeous. I've not used it before. You know, I use it for this, but it's gorgeous.
They know that, the manufacturers know that, which is why they say that you can quilt 10 inches apart with this. That tells me happy days. What are you doing?
I'm just squaring up now. So what I'm doing is I'm using my lines of quilting, particularly on this one, my lines of quilting to make sure that I'm getting the exact size that I want, my finished size. I'm just trimming away. This is my last edge.
Excellent.
So that my binding goes on super smooth.
Now, if you want a pretty yet functional rotary cutter, got the geometric one on the show. $13.95 for your geometric rotary cutter. It's from Fiskars, so you know that it's going to have a fabulous blade and cut like a dream, as we've just seen through 3 layers of fabric. Details for that down there. $13.95. YWGQ95.
I love it. It's like my colour scheme as well, pinks and turquoises.
Works, doesn't it? Lovely.
Need you to do me some binding. Now, there's lots of different ways to do binding for quilts.
Right.
There's myriads of tutorials around for different options. Today, we're using our favourite tool, the bias binding maker, to make bias binding to go around the edge. This is just one way. There's lots of different ways to do it. If you're used to doing dressmaking or if you're used to doing crafts and stuff, you will know how to use bias binding. That's why we've done it on the quilt, because obviously this is a quick and a fast and a kind of entrance way into And if you're not, it's a good way to practice bias binding because it doesn't have to curve. We're just using it on the bias because it folds over beautifully and miters at the corners beautifully.
Could you just use binding? So you wouldn't
necessarily...
necessarily...
If you use straight binding, you could use the backing and make it wider and fold it over to the other side. Like I said, there's hundreds of different ways, but we decided that we were going to use the bias binding because it's nice to use the bias binding maker apart from anything.
What's happened to our iron? Looks like it's had a little accident. Here we go.
Yes, it's got a bit of melted duct tape on the top of it in a minute.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah. We were all wondering, so what's happened to the iron?
So underneath the table here, we have a little piece of reflective stuff to stop the table from getting hot when we store it underneath. Oh. And what's happened is that the duct tape that's holding it in place has been a bit too close to the end of the iron. Okay. Well, it's been on, I think, was what happened yesterday.
That's good. Excellent.
That's what happened when I investigated. I was like, what the what?
What's going on? Now, this bias binder maker is going to give you... Okay, so it's a 25mm bias binder maker. So you need to cut a 5 centimetre strip. Yeah. Fold it over. It will give you a 12mm finish.
Finished bias. Yeah. When it's double folded over. Although it's ironically this is called single American. This is called single fold bias, even though it's got 2 folds in it. Really? When you leave it unbiased binding makered and do it double and fold it over double, that's called double fold bias binding. So even though this has 2 folds in it, this is called single fold because you only fold it once and sew it on.
Just got my head round bias binding and then you're going to throw that at me.
That was a question that someone asked me the other day, so I thought I would clear that up. So yes, if you leave it unironed so the edges are raw, and stitch it on both sides together, which again is another way that you can do finishing a quilt, and fold it once, and then fold it over. That is double fold.
That's a bit complicated.
I know. I'll do it. I think we need to do a whole show on bias binding, to be honest.
Well, it's sounding like it, isn't it?
There's so many different options. So all I would do with my... Thank you very much. Normally, obviously, I would join these 2 pieces together, but I'm not going to go all the way around this piece because we don't have time, because I've got it already done over here.
Oh, okay.
So to put your bias binding on to start with, you need to put it raw edge to raw edge.
Right.
You need to fold the first section over. So that's the raw edge, the raw end of your bias. I'm going to fold that over because that's what's going to be on the outside when you come to the beginning.
Kind of a 45-degree affair going on there?
Yes, yeah. Okay. Kind of it should be 45 degrees anyway with your with the way that you're doing your bias. So just fold that over slightly, and then I'm just going to stitch down the crease.
Okay.
That's why we've done the crease. Again, you can just put it on straight, but obviously doing that crease before gives you that line to follow, like with drawing the lines before.
Yeah, just make life easy.
Yeah, it just gives you that, if you've got all these cues, I've used up all my...
We've got 4 minutes. Can we do this in 4 minutes?
We can, because we've done most of it already on the previous one.
There we go. So, the thread pack that we've used, because we've got a green in there as well, it's kind of a minty green in here, but I think Sammy's been using the yellow. But there's nothing so... Well, this is basically your perfect starter pack for your threads. It's 100% cotton. It is a quilter's pack. A lot of quilters refuse to use a polyester. If they're using 100% cotton fabric in their quilts and they don't want to use a polyester, they want to use a cotton spool, so I believe.
Yes.
So this is a perfect starting point pack for you. Sonia's messaged in that she loves hers. Oh, her bias binder maker. And good morning to Natasha and Sammy. Well, good morning to you too, up bright and early. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, so do we still do this with walking foot?
Yes, yeah, okay. Absolutely. Again, because you've got lots of layers going on, obviously these are all joined together, your quilt's all joined together now, but you don't have to take it off. There we go. So I would just, again, use the line of the fold to give you that nice straight line of stitching. Again, it gives you a guide to follow. It means that everything's going to be even and sorted and tidy because you're following that fold. Yeah. That's created.
Now, are we going into a corner?
Yes.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to do my favourite method of mitering the corner.
I think I know what this is, and I think I've done it because I think I copied you off a show. And it's
so
brilliant.
I've stopped about 1 centimetre away from the corner.
Yeah.
I'm going to lift up my needles down. I'm going to lift up and turn so that I'm sewing now into the corner to create that mitre.
Straight to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to sew off the edge. I'm going to pull this out.
Off the edge.
So
just gone for it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to show you quickly what that looks like when I've stitched it. Get in there, Mr. Cameraman. Giving him a job today.
Yeah.
So you can see I've stitched straight up there and then off to the corner.
Yes.
What happens then is that when you pull the binding up, it's already mitered for you, so that when you fold this over to do your turn around the corner, it's got that mitre in place.
Done. Perfect.
So that you can go back in and stitch from there. And when you turn it over, it's going to give you a crisp mitre into the corner, which in theory will look like this.
One that you mitered earlier?
So here's one I mitered earlier.
A mighty mitre. Let's have a look. There we go. So that gives you a mighty mitre. And if you can just see there.
So that's what it gives you. It gives that super sharp mitre at the corner by doing that extra little line of stitching right into the corner.
$3.25 for your lime green, MWMY18. If you're after the gorgeous koalas, the details are down there, $5.45 again. Really affordable fabrics for these, perfect. We've only got 30 seconds left. It's been koala-tastic, we've had caterpillars, we've had the lot. Don't forget to grab your wadding because we are really low on stock. Please check out your baskets, and also if you've got the koala in your basket, please check him, her, them out. So just beautiful. Thank you so much.
Kenneth the koala.
And we'll see you in an hour.
Yes.
And hopefully see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you at home for watching. Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
My name is Lucy Brennan and I'm a quilter. I teach quilt classes and make different sewing projects. I started quilting about 5.5 years ago, and I'm mostly self-taught. There are some quilters in my family who I got some tips from, but I mostly just practice and just had a go. I've always done some embroidery, so I've always done some stitching, and I've loved crafting and creating different things, but quilting has definitely become my main passion. My favourite thing to make is definitely quilts. I love that it's something that people use. They can be used for lots of different things, and my kids play with them and we sleep under them, and they're colourful and bright and they're all over my house. My best tip for people sewing or quilting is to not worry about being too precise. It's just doing it and enjoy the process of doing it, and have fun picking fabrics, and just enjoy the whole thing. I want to work with Immediate Media because they're well established, they're a big name in the industry, and I love their whole ethos and everything that they're doing. The favourite thing that I've made is this little toy cat, which is one of the first things that I made when I started sewing again. And I made it for my son, and it was just a pattern I think that my mum had got from the newspaper, and I didn't have a lot of fabric, so I used the jeans and I made this little pocket and did some embroidery on it and put his initials on the back, but he still uses it, and so that's why it's one of my favourite things that I've ever made. I think this will help expand the sewing and quilting industry. I think it's really nice that we can reach out to people and show them our different designs and patterns, and that they can follow along and make things at home and buy good quality products. I'm looking forward to working at the Sewing Quarter and getting to share my designs and getting to see what the viewers have made with the patterns and with the fabric and everything.
Join us on Thursday the 30th of March for more innovative dressmaking ideas from Cloth Kits. Jennifer Taylor of Sewing Bee fame will be showing us how easy it is to make your own clothes with Cloth Kit's range of printed sewing patterns and some lovely fabrics from Art Gallery and Amy Butler. So, to learn how to create your own beautiful clothing, join Jennifer on Thursday the 30th of March at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Good morning, welcome back. Now we've got Lucy's Quilting Corner for you coming up this hour, and we've got brand new fabrics for you, something a little bit different. Today we're bringing you a linen mix. It's 60% cotton, 40% linen, and it's in beautiful, beautiful colourways. I'm going to start with the pinky one because that's the first one that I grabbed. Now you're getting 5 different colours, 5 different patterns, 5 fat quarters in this collection. I love it. Now, of course, so many things that you can do with a fat quarter. Look at the shades on this. For me, I love this dusky shade that we've got going on here. So if you're, look at that. If you're into your roses, then it's really rather lovely. And then you've got your polka dots there, your classic polka dots, kind of a ticking going on there, and then just a beautiful texture there, which you sort of expect with your linen, and then a deeper coloured polka dot there. Now this fat quarter range with your linen blend is $13.95, each of these $13.95, but they are perfect for all your craft projects. Look at that. So maybe you're making bags, maybe you're making makeup cases, maybe you're making cushions. I don't know. The options are endless, aren't they? Maybe you're making little storage bags, but here they are. Brand new today. Let's have a look at the next colour option. And of course you can get, you can buy multiples of these and intermingle the different colours. It's going to work a treat because we've got pinks, we've got naturals, and we've also got blues for you today. So this is your natural. Oh, controversial. We get 2 roses in this one. So with the pink, you've got 2 polka dot, but here you've got 1 polka dot in kind of a burgundy, which is picking up the burgundy of the rose there. But then you see, look, because, look, you've got a deep chocolatey colour there, which is just divine, lovely and rich. You've got a lighter stripe, and then that's when I think of linen, this is what I sort of think of. Perfect. You know what I'm thinking? If you're doing any kind of animal, and you need that natural coloured fabric for, you know, when we've done sort of, various animal legs and things, that'd be perfect for that, wouldn't it? Lovely. So, there we go. That's your naturals, your pinks. Let's have a look at the greeny blue. Ooh. No surprise, I love this collection. This is a beautiful colourway here. So again, you've got, the technical name isn't greeny blue. The technical name is actually fresh. Fresh. So we've got big polka dots, little polka dots, stripes, linen effect because it is linen, and of course, there we go. Look at that. It's gorgeous. I love this in can you imagine that in a bag with your lining, with your polka dot, and then maybe a pocket in the stripe. Beautiful. WJGQ42. Which one, I guess, will be most popular? I don't know. Ooh, decisions. Now maybe you want something completely different and you want to go bright blue. If you do, now perfect, of course, for those little boys, those baby ones. This one is called blue, happily enough. So again, you've got your linen effect in there. You've got your polka dot. Well, this is polka dot tassel. Well, spots and stripes we've got in here. So 3 different polka dots, your linen effect there, and then you've got a stripe in there. All in all sorts of shades of blue. $13.95. ETGQ52, all fat quarters. So, you know, all of those projects where you need a fat quarter, it's all sorted. Nice. I've made a bit of a mess. Let's go over here. Lucy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hello, by the way.
At home, just
pretend that you're on the show. Hide things. Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad made me a bed, and it had these big storage trundly things that you could just pull out. It was great.
Yeah, chuck everything in it and hide it away.
Yeah,
that's what we like to do.
Yes. Now, hello. This is what we're doing. Crazy scraps. Now, Lucy, hello, by the way.
Hello.
Hello. This has been made using Creative Grids Scrap Crazy. Yeah. Let's show you the ruler because it comes in 3 parts. A/B, D and C. Now, I would be looking at that and going, that makes what? I have no idea. Fear not. It comes with instructions.
It does. Very clear, well-written instructions,
And
easy to follow.
That wasn't enough. If you've got, that newfangled device called a mobile phone that's got a QR reader, then you can scan that in. You can scan that in and it takes you to an online tutorial.
It does.
Which is very clever, using exactly this grid.
It's a little video that demonstrates how to use the ruler.
Because you might look at it like me and go...
And it's with Karen, who designed it.
So this is designed by a lady called Karen Montgomery, who owns a quilting shop in the States. She designs for Creative Grids. Now, Creative Grids is a company that was started in the UK, a husband-wife combo. They live in Leicester. That's why each of these has got a fox on. Did you know? Because that is the symbol of Leicester.
I didn't wonder about the fox.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah,
Done your research. Well done.
So every one of these has got a little fox on because it's the sign of Leicester. There's your little fox.
He's running, isn't he?
It's like your Manchester bees, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
Well, Leicester's got a fox.
I'm not sure. Maybe I should make some with a bee.
I wonder if they've got foxes on their bins like they've got bees on their bins in Manchester.
Oh, I wonder.
Find out. No, they don't, apparently.
Oh.
Says our director. Straight on in there. It's all right. It's ruining that illusion.
Well, we've got them on the rulers,
so that's all right. So that's absolutely fine. So yes, husband and wife combination, started the company Creative Grids, but it really took off when Rachel, their daughter, took over because she came up with such inspirational ideas, different things in here. Actually, I'll show you with this one because this is the patented bit. The reason why quilters love Creative Grids, and you can stop me if I'm wrong here, 2 reasons. Firstly, you've got the black and the white mark, so whether you're using a light or a dark fabric doesn't matter, it's really clear and easy. But what you'll notice is that some of the markings are in white and some are in black. So, the ones in white are your plain inches. The ones in black, if you spin it around, give you 1.5 inches, so give you your seam allowance. If that's what you're cutting and you require a seam allowance, it's done for you. Genius, they really know how you use a grid. The other thing is, and just if I put my hand behind that, actually, can I just borrow your top?
You can.
Thanks. Very pretty at the top of it too. But what you can see now is that you can see the sort of opaque bits here. That is a 1/2 inch mark there, and that is no, hang on, that's a 1/4 inch and that's a 1/2 inch, which means that it's highlighting those measurements because they generally your seam allowances and whatever with your quilting. But then you see also these circular bits here. Lucy's giggling.
I can't stop.
No, you can see your top moving. These have got sort of embedded parts here, which is sort of embedded into the plastic, and this is your non-slip grip.
Yes.
And all of the rulers have got that non-slip element, and that's what makes these rulers brilliant.
Yeah, they really are. And this is what I use at home. This was the first ever ruler that I bought, not this particular one, but this one, yes. The
I've gotten so used to the markings and the fact that you spin it to show that, you know, when you're doing a half, that if I'm using one that doesn't have it on, it throws me a little bit because I've got to really work it out, and I've gotten so used to looking at the halves, you know, because it's there for you, so it just makes it really, really easy, and I've gotten really used to it. And the grip is unlike any other.
Well, the grip goes all the way around the outside, so no matter how small a piece you're cutting, it's going to grip. But it's not... Some of the rulers have like a plasticky rubbery grip that can come off.
On. Some of them are stuck on and will come off, whereas this, because it's embedded,
isn't it, into the plastic?
Yeah. So it's not going to come off.
Really well thought out by a company who really understand the needs of quilters. I mean, they started out by just using the offcuts from a plastics company and sort of reusing them, and then it's grown into this incredible company. So the details that you just had on the screen were for the large ruler we've just shown you, but the one that we're really going to be working with a lot today is the Scrap Crazy. We've got it in 2 different sizes for you. The first one, which is the size you haven't seen before, is the 8-inch one. £22.95. Is there only one way to use these or multiple?
Multiple.
Yay!
Yeah, I'll talk through some of the different ways. I'm going to do it the way it was originally intended, and then we can sort of have a play.
The way Karen intended.
If we get time. Well, that's what every set I've used, and every, you know, they have different designers that they work with to make the different rulers, but every single one, they really know their stuff. They really create something useful that you're going to use again and again and again. And we did the 6-inch Scrap Crazy rulers, which created a different pattern. So this isn't the same thing but bigger. This is a completely different set.
Okay.
So you've got different shapes here, and you create a different kind of a block with it. So it's a lot of fun.
And again, when you get it and you see this black and red piece, don't throw this away.
Don't.
This is invaluable because this gives you lots of different ideas as to how to use them, how to put them together, and then it gives you a quilt idea on the back. So by the time that you've got a few of your creative grid rulers, you're going to have a little collection.
Yeah, and also, I imagine there might be different sizes, but there will be ways of putting them together as well, and really mixing things up. And that's what these Scrap Crazy ones, that's really what they're for. It's for, you know, mixing things up and having a play and using your fabrics. And the lovely thing about the guide there is it gives you instructions for cutting from different size pieces of fabric as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just one size, which is good.
You can buy others. Of course you can. Absolutely you can. My husband always says to me, buy cheap, buy twice.
Absolutely.
If you are starting out and something like the grid ruler is the very first ruler that you're going to buy, buy one that is going to last you. Buy one that you're not going to outgrow. And actually, you know, treat yourself. If this is your hobby, you're going to enjoy it. And that's the rectangle that's going across the bottom there for you. The creative, the Crazy Scrap Crazy, is up on the screen there. So the 2 different ruler sets that we're using today, both on the screen for you. How do we use them? Over to you, Lucy.
Well, I'm just going to say quickly, it will last forever. I've had mine nearly 6 years, I think, and it's as good as new.
It doesn't wear out.
You just need to make sure that you store them flat. So that might be hanging or, you know, lying down, but don't sort of leave them where they could get broken or they could warp, because obviously you're using the measurements on them. So you want to store them flat. And with the Scrap Crazy ones, it comes in a bag, so you can keep the instructions and the ruler, keep everything together in the bag, and keep that flat as well.
So things like that, top tips that you then maybe think afterwards, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Well, and the other thing is, I'd lose one. You know what I mean? I'd lose one, and then I'd want to make that block, and I'd go, "Where's my AB?"
Oh,
you know, so just keep it together in the bag, and then you don't need to worry about it.
So we get it out. What do we do?
You get it out. So you've got the 3 different templates for the different shapes. You can put them together in different ways, which I'll talk about shortly. But in the instructions, you could just cut out of any bit of fabric. So long as it's bigger, obviously, than the ruler, you can just trim your fabric.
Is that why it's called Scrap Crazy?
So you can use any pieces of fabric to cut it out. But it also gives you instructions for cutting from a strip. So the strip width is 6 inches.
And that's where your grid ruler is perfect for this, isn't it?
Yes, so you can cut your strips out with that. And then... also, I'm going to use it in a little while for another one. But with the strip, it shows you in the instructions how to lay out the rulers so that you're getting the most from your fabric. So it literally tells you step by step how to cut. And obviously you're cutting it at 6 inches because that's the height of the rulers.
Yes.
And then it shows you step by step. So you'd cut that one, then you cut that one.
So the height of these are 6, but it's going to give you an 8-inch block?
When it's all sewn together, yes.
Oh, that's what I couldn't
Because it's not, because you're sewing the pieces, you're sewing the pieces together.
Yes, of course.
Yes. That's why the instructions are so clever.
I'd have been cutting out an 8-inch going, it doesn't fit, what's going on?
No. So, and then that one that way, and then that one that way. So I'll do it, because I'll show you how to cut the different pieces.
This is brilliant.
But it's really easy. I just cut the 6-inch strip from the fat quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Well, yeah, might as well. So I know I trimmed off this edge.
Okay.
When I was cutting out my strip, so that I know that that's straight, and then just shimmy over.
Yeah, you shimmy me out, mate. Do it.
So I'm just cutting that bit there, and this has got the grip all the way around.
I was just going to say, you've got that. I also love on these that it's clearly marked D, and then out of your block, it shows you exactly where D slots into it.
And
so
on every one, it's showing you where they're positioned as well.
Perfect.
So I didn't spend a whole lot of time thinking about fabric placement. I just thought I don't want to put 2 of the same next to each other.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I might decide I do want to do that. But what you can do then is, as you're looking at this,
and you can make your mind up, Lucy. Might not. You know.
Might. I'll just see. It depends what mood I'm in, or how my designs turn out. So then, if I had a print maybe that I wanted to fussy cut, if I'm using the flowers, you know, I could move it over,
and
I could think about
it, can't you?
Yes, and which one is it going to be? Is it going to be that way up or that way up? So if I'm using a directional fabric, having that on the ruler while I'm cutting out means it's really clear.
Gosh, it's sort of things I didn't even know I needed to think about.
Yeah, but it's you're doing it and you can see it's right there for you, so it makes it so easy.
It is so clever.
And then you'd think about which one, you know, which C it's going to be, and you might want to make 2 piles as you're cutting them out. You know, one's for the ones going up and one's for the ones going down.
Print,
if you
absolutely.
wanted to, yeah. So then we just cut that, and on some of the rulers, not all, it has the little corner cut off, yeah, so that you can trim the dog ear, and that helps when you're lining everything up. So I just trim that little bit off, and then so that's that one, and then we turn it round and do it this way. In the instructions, it has it all laid out side by side, but obviously you need to do it one at a time. You can't cut them all.
Oh no! That.
And because C you're using twice as well, and the A and B you're using twice as well, actually. So you just need to be careful. There we go. So 2 C's. Oh, look at that little bit.
It's tiny, isn't it?
Oh, annoy me. I know.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
But good that it's there, because also that's going to help when you come to put it together to sew, I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and just reduces bulk as well along those seams.
So in doing this as a strip and cutting out in all the same fabric, presumably you'd have a variety of different fabrics, like our fat quarters come in 5 different colourways, and then cut a strip of each?
Yes, cut a strip of each. When I was cutting, I cut different strips and layered them up. So I was cutting more than one at once because I'm comfortable cutting and using the templates. If it's your first time, you might want to do one at a time, but when you're confident using the rotary cutter, you can stack it up and do more than 2, 3, 4 at a push. But
get at you.
Maybe not more than that, because you want to maintain your accuracy, and especially with those little corners. So the AB is 2 shapes in the one ruler.
Okay.
So it has a black line. I don't know if you can see that there. There's a black line along here.
Oh, cutting line for template B.
That even tells you what it is.
Oh, there you go. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it on there.
So it's not just a random line in a different colour that you go, why is that line there? It literally says
you.
on it, cutting line for template B. So it does make things... It makes
I
it
hate
so
when they
easy.
just put random lines. I don't know what...
But sometimes there are random lines and you don't know. Yeah, you really don't know what they're for.
No.
But it's so lovely, and they really do think of everything and make it so easy for you. And whether, you know, this is perfect for a beginner, but even for somebody like myself that sews every single day, it's just joyous. They're so easy to use, so easy to work with.
I'm so glad that you said that.
You know, when I'm tired at the end,
Yes.
at the end of the day, but I'm cutting something out. I don't want to be having to really concentrate and think about it. I want to just get on and do it.
A busy working mum, 3 gorgeous kids, and so often, if you're anything like me, the only time you get is at the end of a day.
Yes.
So it's sort of relaxation / work / a mind calming down, defogging of the day.
Yeah.
And so actually, if it's spelt out for you, no one's going to complain.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's too easy to use. What? Said no one ever? Ever.
No. It is. It's really, really easy.
Joyous.
And it's
joyous to use.
It
yes.
is joyous.
But oh no, please give me a complicated one, which could mean that I could go wrong and waste my fabric.
I know, and I've done it so many
no one
times
ever.
and cut things wrong. The only other thing I want to mention is you do need to make sure that your fabric's facing up. I know that might sound obvious, but especially if you're cutting doing more than one strip at once.
For me when it comes to quilting.
If you're doing more than one strip at once, sometimes you might put them together and not. But you want all of your fabrics facing up so that they're going in the right direction, especially with
because you might have just folded it in half. Don't do that.
You could do it. That's one of the other things that you can do is create mirror blocks. So you do the block one way and you do it the reverse. If you want to do that intentionally, then you could do one face down and one face up.
That's what you're doing.
But no, that's what you're doing. Yeah, and if you find yourself in a pickle, it may well be, if the angles aren't working, it may well be that you did that by accident. So that's just something to be aware of. But it's really nice, the fact that you can do that and get the mirror images means that you've got more possibilities with the rulers.
Yeah, you've just doubled everything, haven't you?
You can and then you can create, when you come to combine them, it will create a whole different look than if they were all the right way. So there are lots of options with this one. And then for the final one, you're meant to lay it down that way, but I'm just going to turn it for ease of cutting. And then actually with what's left over in this, that one's not lined up properly, do it this way. With what's left over, you do get another shape as well.
Do you?
Yeah, so I can cut another, I think I can cut another B or another D from this part.
When you just love something a little bit more for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you feel like you're getting something extra, don't you? That you can use the little bits.
Or just that it's making the most of every bit of your fabric, which is why it's called, obviously, you're scrap crazy, because you will go crazy with all your scraps with it.
So there you go, I'll just do another D.
Yeah.
And then I've got very minimal, that, I've got, those are the pieces that are left over from that 6-inch strip.
That's all right.
So it's just those little bits and a triangle. Triangles
triangles are always handy to have, aren't they?
So those are just the little bits that I have left over from that. And they're
mini bunting.
They're mini bunting. You could.
Yes. That came from our director.
Yeah, well, she might have time for that. I don't.
Oh, he.
Oh, he.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Who's off today?
No. That was from our director today, Tim, who's getting involved in the show.
Well, I'd like to see his bunting.
Well, now
I'll save that for Tim.
Offer.
I'll save that for Tim. Okay, so I've got all my shapes and I've got 2 of D, and I could have done 2 of B. God, I didn't mean it like that. Okay, so I'm going to add those to the ones that I've already cut out. So I've got extra ones of the dots. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to show you, and this is another fantastic thing about this set, is that you can cut the shapes from 10-inch square.
Oh, nice.
So if you have
now you
layer
say yes,
cakes,
which isn't the film, is actually...
I didn't know there was a film called Layer Cakes.
Didn't you? Well, it's just called layer cake. There's
Layer
no
cake.
plural.
Oh, layer cake.
No, just layer cake.
I just want more than one
Well, no,
cake.
I know. I'm also cake greedy. But a layer cake is 10-inch square.
10-inch squares, yes. So it's pre-cuts that come in cut as 10-inch squares. And I think you get between 40 and 42, something like that. Or 40 or 42, I'm not quite sure.
Lots.
Lots. You
Of
get loads
those.
of them.
Yeah, good.
And then each 10-inch square, you can cut all of your shapes out of. So that means if you have a layer cake, you've got 40 something block. That's how many blocks you're going to make.
That's a load, isn't it?
So 40 blocks from a layer cake, if you wanted to use a layer cake with it. So that's another option.
Whoa. And you can... Okay.
So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm referring, it's all in the...
Little booklet.
Little booklet in the instructions. So that's when we were cutting it from the 6-inch square, and then that's the layout for the...
Let me show this here, because it's all rather good. So let me fold that in half so that it's less complicated. Here we go. This is how we've just cut out along there. So that's just using your strip. Your 6-inch strip, wasn't it? It will make an 8-inch. But if you come up with me, come up. Zip. There you go. That's your 10-inch square, aka layer cake. Getting all the terms today. Yeah. And it just shows you how to give it a good old cutout. This one, presumably, this isn't in the pack, isn't it? That's the ruler, the other ruler that we've got on the show.
I'm going to use the wider one, yes, because that's the one the one I have.
Yeah.
So that's the one I'm going to use.
Awesome.
You just need something that's long enough. I'm going to need that because I can't. Need to refer to the diagram.
reference
well,
guide.
I can't remember where the pieces go, and I don't want to do it wrong. Yeah, sorry, I haven't memorised it.
No, homework. Come
Homework.
on. Now the rectangular one is down the bottom there, £23.95, and it's a big one. It's 6.5 inches across by 24.5 long.
Yes.
It's a good size to have,
It's
isn't
a great size, and I think I use it near enough every single time I'm sewing.
And it's in
That's
inches,
the one that
so
I pull out.
perfect for
Yeah,
your
it's the one,
quilters.
definitely the one that I use the most.
If you're wondering at home why we have to put the centimetres on, it's law, but this is all in inches, just so that you know. Yeah.
So I might need to move that down slightly. I've done it a bit high.
This is great because you literally just copy.
Yeah, I'm just copying what's on there.
And then
I've
just
got to
make
cut
sure
those
that
two out of
everything
there.
is on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this is going to go right.
We can always go
I'll
look at
just
some
do
fabric
it.
otherwise.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm somewhat following the instructions. So I'm just using that, obviously, because I want to get that long line. I'm separating it into two pieces.
There we go.
And if you're anything like me, I do have a selection of pre-cuts that I haven't done anything with at home. And so it is nice to be able to get a set, you know, that you you can just pull that out and make a quilt.
Just make something.
Yeah, make
just
a
like
quilt
that.
out of it. Because it's oftentimes it's finding patterns that fit those pre-cuts can be a bit, or there's not one that you quite like. So this is just a fun, easy way of doing it.
Now, the ruler that Lucy is using, let's just recap on that, is the 8-inch template by Karen Montgomery, a big quilter in the States. She's designed this for Creative Grids. $22.95 for that, NICQ 94. Now, the one that we've had on previously was a 6-inch one.
Yes.
So, is here. Because we've got that one too. Oh, hang on, look, let me show you. I can compare and contrast.
Yes, because they're completely different. It's not this. It's not that the 6-inch one is a smaller version of this.
It's not. It's a completely different one.
Completely different. The shapes are different, and it will make a different.
So that
they are
your different. They're your different shapes, and that's the quilt that it makes. You can see that quilt block because that's the 8 one, which you can see is completely different. 6 inch, 8 inch. There you go. So whichever one you want, I guess it depends what kind of size block you want to make. And with this one, this is your 6 inch one. Lucy, you made something lovely, and this was the one that we mocked up,
yes,
wasn't
we
it?
did.
Yeah. So mocked up, it looks like this, and this was just using our Spectrum solids. This was just using our solid colours from Macau that we have at like 325, a half metre. This was so popular, and you did one of those, and lovely Bex upstairs went, "Hey, look, I can show you what this is going to look like."
Yeah, so that's 4 blocks in each one of those large blocks.
So 16 blocks there in total. Yeah. Yeah. 4 times 4, 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And that's using the 6 inch one. I love that.
And there was
like
we did a lot of other things with that in that show as well. We did a lot of other blocks, which a lot of what we did could be applied to this one as well.
Producer Hannah, can you remember what date that was in case anybody wants to watch again? 9th of this month. So if you want to, if you're getting the other one, if you're getting the 6 inch one that we just showed you, and the blocks that we just showed you on the screen, go onto YouTube, put in, the date, 9th of March, sewing quarter,
and it was the Love Patchwork and Quilting Day. So it had the lovely panda one on as well. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look.
Oh yeah, Panda's back. Panda's coming back.
Joe's lovely quilt was on there as well.
Okay, so what do we do next?
So just to show you, this is how these pieces fit on your
We're back to the 8
square.
Yes.
So I'm just going to quickly but carefully,
in a safe manner.
Absolutely. Just show you how you get these shapes.
So you just sort of lift it out the way.
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't want to cut too far up, because otherwise you're cutting into the next one, aren't you?
Yes, you don't want to actually cut them. That's what I just wanted to demonstrate. You don't want to actually cut them laid out on the. No. You could damage the ruler if you do it like that.
But this is the joy of it, isn't it? Because you've got that grip, which is the opaque part around the edges. It's not moving.
No.
At all. It's great.
So you just keep going like that. You cut that one out of there, and then from this section, you get the B like that, and this C like that. So,
oh nice.
You can see you're only, when you've trimmed that off, you're going to have these very, very little waste.
Millimetres.
Just very, very little waste, and even from that bit, it's only going to be that little bit there that's waste.
Clever.
So it's very, very... So they're really good at making the most of your fabric.
Right. And
not wasting bits. A lot of times when you're following patterns and things, not a lot of times, but sometimes there can be quite a bit of waste. And what's lovely about this is there isn't. Invest
in people that know their stuff, and Creative Grids, they really, really know their stuff. Coming from a company that basically just came about because they saw waste from a plastics factory and went, hang on, we can use that. Yeah. And look what it's become, this huge company. And this is it, because when I first saw the company website, I assumed, how wrong was I, that it was an American company come over here.
Yeah, do you know, I thought the same thing. Honestly, that's what I thought
quilting's so huge in the States.
Yeah.
But no, the lovely thing is that this is what started out as a small English company that has now gone and taken the States by storm. We're showing them a thing or two about quilting.
And yes, they're really, really good. Genuinely, really, really good quality. They are what I use at home. What I used before I started. On here.
So you had them before you even had to demo with them here. They were already your
I've had them for years.
block of choice.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. And they just feel so lovely. And I have had different rulers and been given different rulers and different things, and I will always buy Creative Grids. I love them.
She loves them.
I love them. It's not that thick. Some are not nice plastic, but it's really, really thick, really acrylic, isn't it?
It's all
really lovely. Right. So I've got my shapes, so I'm going to lay it out. And here's where you kind of can have fun mixing and matching and
only here.
Only
at this point.
Well, you have to be careful when you're cutting. You can enjoy the cutting, but you have to concentrate on the cutting.
Now you
can just be silly and
yes,
play.
So, you know, you can spend a long time deciding where you want things to go, which bit's going to go where.
Now, this is where we have the joy of a fat quarter bundle, of course.
Yes.
Because hang on, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that could have been each one of your different 5 pieces of your fat quarter, because you've got 5
which I
different
did do
sides.
in that block, but for some reason I feel a bit dotty today, a bit
Well,
florally and dotty.
Why not? Do you want to go look at those fabrics now? That one.
That one.
Yeah, so that's using all of the fabrics from the naturals, which details just below it.
So this is 2 blocks sewn together. Sorry for jumping in there.
Oh, go
2
for it.
blocks sewn together, and so each block, so there's the line. This is 1 block, that's the other block. Each one has the 5 fabrics.
And is 8 inches.
And is 8 inches.
$13.95. NICQ94 gets you the acrylics to make the block. The fabric that we've used to make that block is down there. OFGQ17. Yeah.
Okay, shall I sew?
We're going to get you started sewing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go and look at the fabric again.
Okay,
That's how
lovely.
it's going to work.
So step by step it shows you how to put those shapes together.
Yes.
So you start with D to C, and then D and C to A, and B to C, and then you join those 2 parts.
So it's never anything overwhelming, is it?
It's not overwhelming at all. The really nice thing about that is there's no seams. In the same way with the 6-inch one, there's nowhere do the seams meet. So if you're a beginner, or if you're somebody that just wants a nice easy project, you're not having to think about intersecting seams.
Do you think that's just, you know, this Karen Montgomery who's designed these, she's an experienced quilter, she teaches,
Yes.
she's got her own shop, so actually, if you can avoid it, brilliant. You still have a beautiful result at the end.
And that is intentional. She's intentionally done that to keep it really simple, and just so that you can just enjoy the sewing and not, you know, not have to worry. It's just really simple, really, really easy sew. And then when I come to sew, so this one is B to C, when I come to sew these bits together, you can see there how trimming off those dog ears helps, and also gives us the point for our 1/4 inch seam.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna sew these bits together, but with this one in particular, I'm gonna sew it from this way, because I don't want to catch that little bit in my machine. So I'm gonna sew down that way to join these 2 bits together.
Do it. Using a 1/4 inch foot.
So I'm using 1/4 inch foot.
Okay. So we'll just see you get going here. Do you forward and back and do a holding stitch to...
I do.
You do?
Yes, I do. I mean, you don't actually have to. Oh, it's not wanting to go. That's because I'm pressing the wrong button. Oh!
Ooh.
It did not like that,
No,
did it?
Whenever you pressed it, didn't like it. I'm going to go and look at some fabric. Come with me. I'll leave you with that little joy.
Try not
there,
to break
Lucy.
the machine.
Whoops. Let's start with this one, because Jackie, hello Jackie, has wanted to share what she's made with this. She's bought this somewhere else. Oh, how dare you. Well, we've only got it for you today for the first time, but this is the sort of thing that you can make. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's the joy of a fat 1/4 bundle, because you've got those colours that work with. She said it was a dream to stitch with, and it felt beautiful. Happy days. That's excellent, isn't it? Brilliant. Hey, maybe you'll buy some other colours. I think that would look lovely in pink. So if you're after, maybe you want to make that same sort of bag. But you see, it just goes to show that these are perfect for your craft projects. $13.95, WJGQ42, and this is a cotton linen, so 60% cotton, 40% linen. I do believe I've got that the right way round. Yep, 60% cotton, 40% linen. And there you have your 5 different fat quarters. Now, of course, with the Scrap Crazy that we've been using today, it has 5 different pieces, so that sort of lends itself, doesn't it, to making the most of all of those colours, should you wish to do that. Melanie's messaged in. Hello, Melanie. she's thinking of using this to make a handbag for her mum. Lucky mum. Lucky mum. Oh, nice. Do you want to go pink or natural? Oh, let's just move along, shall we? This is the pink range. Thinking. No, well, I'm thinking, you see, if you happened to buy more than one, that look, if you put the blue goes with the pink as well. I see what they've done there. It's very pretty. So this is your pink range here. And again, you've got 2 polka dots there. You've got that lovely linen. I want to say linen effect. It is linen. It's 40% linen. And then you've got, there you've got your stripe, so ticking effect going on there. So WTGQ 97 there, 13.95 for 5 fat quarters. I haven't shown you, if anybody doesn't know how big a fat quarter is, 55 centimetres by 45 centimetres these. Of course, because even fat quarter sizes vary according to the selvage width of the fabric. There you go. That's your fat quarter. So, things like your bag, perfect. And that's just, yeah, cushions, things like that. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Let's have a look at the natural one, which is the one, I feel very tidy as I'm going here, which is the one that Lucy's been using. Here we go. Now, you see, I always think with naturals, really useful to have in your stash, because especially if you're making a gift for someone and you're not quite sure of their favourite colourways, go with neutral. Can't go wrong with a neutral. Just do it. There you go. So, $13.95 again, OFGQ17. Again, 5 fat quarters in there, 1 spot, 2 florals in this one, because you've got the lovely chocolatey one there. Just very, very pretty. Got a stripe, linen, nice. OFGQ17. Oh, decisions, they're all gorgeous. So you've got your 3 different florally blends there, but then completely different, but this is in with this, not because it's the same, but because it's your linen cotton blend. That's why we've popped this in today. So maybe you're thinking of doing a little baby boy's quilt or something like that, or a nappy change bag or something like that for a little chap. Hey, look, you've got all of your blues there. Polka dots, you've got a lovely linen there. Patchwork teddy bear. $13.95. Sorry, you've caused me to think there, producer Hannah. That's, yeah. I love that. ETGQ52. Now, of course, we are using the 8-inch scrap crazy from Creative Grids. Woohoo! Producer Hannah, you'll know, because you know we've got the 6-inch one. Did that sell out last time? It did, didn't it? So if you missed out on the 6-inch one from the last time that we showed these, which was the 9th of March on our Love Patchwork and Quilting Day, then we've got it back in stock for you. Have a look on the web for it because it's there. This is what it makes. This is the 6-inch one, so 2 inches smaller. So it's a different, well, it's different acrylics, it's a different pattern, but it's still scrap crazy. $22.95 for the 6-inch one. That's your ruler. Different, you see. Have a good old play with these. Really lovely. PLCQ28. But now we're working with the 8-inch one from the same designer. Happy days.
Happy days.
Are you okay?
I did not break the machine, thank goodness. It's
We'll let you
all
on again,
working
then.
fine. I think it didn't like that 1/4-inch foot, so it's happy now.
It's happy off one of the other machines. There we go. This is what we're making with the 8-inch. Nice. Very nice. We like.
I have to think about it now. I'm putting them back in the place. There we go.
I don't know if I would make a quilt out of that, looking at that. Having seen that beautiful bag, you could quilt blocks for a bag, couldn't you?
Yes, you could, absolutely.
That would look so pretty.
It would look lovely. So with this, with pressing, I've pressed it to the dark side. Because you haven't got intersecting seams, you don't need to worry about pressing
open,
you know, which
or
you don't need
like
to think about which way you're going to press. So you can press to the dark side, you can press whichever way takes your fancy. Yeah, so I've sewn those two bits together, and then I'm just sewing this one to this one.
And this is all as per the instructions. Because if you don't follow them, then you're going to make life difficult for yourself. Keep those instructions. They come with brilliant instructions. They come with, if you're technically savvy and have the capability to scan that with your mobile phone, then it takes you to all sorts of different YouTube videos that they've done themselves.
If you don't have a mobile phone or the app, you just search Scrap Crazy 8-inch in YouTube, and it will come up for you.
Or watch our shows.
Yeah.
Either way, happy days.
So I'm sewing down this end, and you can see again how that angle just helps, and that gives me my see. So I'll show you as I'm sewing.
Okay.
Where that comes in really helpful. So again, I'm not starting at the point where the
where your dog is being cut.
Trimmed. I'm starting from the other end because that makes it easier. So the bit where the dog ear has been trimmed there is at the other side, and so I'm starting from the other end there. So bated breath, we wait to see.
Well, is it gonna work?
I did do a little bit, so I think it should be okay. And I don't have. I'll just show you actually. I had to take the 1/4-inch foot off, but here underneath there is a 1/4-inch marking there,
so you can still
and it nicely lines up with a line on the normal foot. So you won't be able to see it, but just along the edge of the foot here, inside, not along the edge on the side, but in between there is a little faint line that I can use, you know, because obviously I can't see that mark under there. Although I can line up at the edge there.
Foot, do they?
No, you may very well not. And so that's why it's great.
Producer Hannah doesn't.
No, but you can find, you know, most feet will have, like this has got a plastic bit, a metal bit, and most feet do have some sort of a marking or a line on them. So you can just line it up with that. And it even lines up, I don't know how I can, we've got a pointy thing, no. At the back here, this ridge.
Scissors?
There's a little ridge on the foot here.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
There. That little ridge bit that moves up there. Don't worry, I'm not jamming the scissors. That actually lines up perfectly here. So if I wanted to look beyond the edge of the foot to there, and keep it all in a straight line, I can do. Now everybody finds having a so that bit there lines up.
Okay, I see.
So everybody will find, everybody's machine's different, everybody's feet are different, and it's about just having a play, looking at your feet, looking, you know, to get that 1/4-inch. But so long as you've got it, then you just away and you can go. But you don't want to be looking down here really. You want to be looking ahead at where you're going.
So you're always looking ahead of where you're going. You're not concentrating on the bit that's going through. You're concentrating on...
I want to make sure that that's lined up.
Yeah.
There. So sometimes I'm looking here, but if I want to line it up with that bit, I can just keep my eyes there. And if you can pin if you prefer to pin.
It's funny, isn't it? Different places to look give you a different point of reference and give you a different effect.
And the other thing I think is, everybody's different, and so if I tell you, oh, you must look there, well, it might not work. It might not work on your machine. It might not work on your foot, and it might not feel comfortable to you when you're sewing. So whatever's going to help you keep that 1/4-inch seam consistent as you're sewing, that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Just have that different line of reference.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
But you don't have, if you don't have those tools, or maybe you've got a very old machine that you can't get a 1/4-inch foot for, you don't want to use a generic one.
I'm laughing because I learnt on a 50-year-old Singer, my grandmother's sewing machine, so 1 foot did all.
And most manufacturers now will have, the different feet available. fairly easily, but
Yeah.
you may not want to. You might like your sewing machine foot.
did love my
and that's
sewing
okay.
machine.
Yeah.
I loved my sewing machine for many, many years. Not only because...
I love my new sewing machine.
Yeah, you've got a new one, haven't you?
I have.
And that was our fault.
It very much was. That was Jane's fault entirely.
Yeah, so that was Jane from
That was
Elna.
Jane from Elna's
So
fault.
the story goes, when we were prepping and getting everything ready before we launched, we had our Elna Day, because all of our sewing machines at the moment that we use on the shows come from our stable of Elna machines. And lovely Jane came in from Elna to show us how to use all the machines, because we'll be given any old machine to use, any of them, and we've got to know how to use them. And you fell in love with one.
I did.
And your dad and your nan clubbed together.
They did.
And treated you.
I'm so grateful, thank you. It's lovely. It's made such a difference. It really has. Just the speed and efficiency of, you know, being able to use that machine compared to the one I was using, which was very basic, which was fine. You know, I've sewn a lot of nice things with it, but it does make a difference to be able to have one that
But it just
does
goes
lots
to
of
show,
things.
if you are working with a basic machine, you can. Don't be put off from doing things. But when the time is right to upgrade, enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like your first car. You never
It
start out
is,
with a Mercedes
yes,
for your
no.
first car, do
Well,
you?
Some people do. I did not.
No, I didn't. I had a Fiat Panda Dance.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my... I don't know if I can say. I'm going to say it anyway. My mum used to drive a 2CV.
Oh, yeah,
you know, those
yeah.
2CVs. And I told everybody at school that my mum had a convertible car because
Which
the
is
roof
true.
used to peel off.
Which is
Not
true.
a lie.
No.
Not a lie.
No.
No.
Vintage and retro.
Just wasn't quite maybe what they thought of as a convertible car.
Yeah, you
but
know.
we had so much fun in that car. That was also joyous. I'm saying it a lot today. I'm happy.
It's a joyous
I'm
life.
happy.
It's excellent.
So that's the
Yes.
two components. So next thing to do is just very simply
And
sew
this is,
those
isn't it?
together. And again, you've got that cut-off
Yes.
bit, so that's going to help you maintain that seam allowance. So I'll just
And
sew
by
that
following the
quickly.
instructions to the letter and doing it methodically in order, you don't get stuck with any sticky bits going, it's now just one straight diagonal line, done.
And you
Easy.
want to... I keep referring to the diagram. You know, they're on all of the rulers, you know, anyway, or you've got it there in the instructions. But as you're going along and as you're sewing each piece, you can just glance back, check you've got the right, you know, you're sewing the right bits together, and then just go for it.
So this shows you all the pieces to cut and how they fit together. This here shows you how to cut them out of a 10-inch layer cake or out of an 8-inch, 6-inch strip, because it makes an
6-inch strip
8-inch.
makes an 8-inch
Is it an
block.
8-inch finished block?
8-inch finished, yes.
Okay, good. I'm learning. All learning. So when it says an 8-inch on the front, that's your 8-inch finished size.
Yeah, I think they always do that creative grids. They'll give you the
These are the ones
size.
that we're working with. So if you bought the 6-inch Scrap Crazy last time, this is Scrap Crazy again, but different design.
A different design.
So the 6-inch last time, let's show you the 6-inch last time, because we did sell out of that. And should we dance?
Yes, let's dance.
So if we sold out of it before you managed to get it last time, but you're desperate to get it, here it is again. This isn't the one we're using today, this was the one we used last time. $22.95, PLCQ 28. That's what it makes. That's brilliant.
So just trim off those.
I love the fact that this was just done in planes.
Yes.
It really brings it out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you can see the design so clearly, but it really depends what effect, you know, you're going for.
Do you know what I could see this on, actually? I could see this done, put together as, I don't know, can you hold that on the bottom so I can hold it? There we go. So you can start to see maybe it coming together as a really pretty cushion. And actually, in those colourways, that would look lovely on a leather sofa, wouldn't it?
It
like
would. I think it's very
sofa.
sophisticated, this combination. Very sophisticated.
It's timeless, isn't it?
It is. I'm going to really quickly mention the different things that you can do with it. So even within this pattern, you could very easily make
some of it background. So you could make, say, the triangles stand out and have these bits be plainer. You know, if you didn't want it so scrappy, you could create something very geometric,
so you
very
could do
modern with it as well.
Darks one side, lights the other, and then
something like that. Have a real play, and then some of the shapes will just go together as they are. So, you know, if you're not looking to make just an 8-inch, you know, you don't want to just make an 8-inch block. You can have a play around and move, you know, just sew some of the bits together and create different shapes and see where you end up. So if you know, that's going to create more of like a rectangle.
You know what I've
But then that could be a border. You could do a border of that. Make these blocks and then do a border.
You give me
with
an
those
idea.
Shapes.
Okay, so my idea is, you know, on the back here, this gives you an idea of what the quilt would look like when it was all done together. You know what you're just saying about doing certain bits so that the colours come out and... Yes. What if you photocopied that and then just got different colours and then just coloured in so that you could actually get an idea? You're mapping out in advance what you want.
Yes, and you even, I mean, I can see crosses in there.
Yeah.
You know, different things. So you can really make different parts of it stand out.
And then you've
really create. You
planned ahead.
Get so creative. And I mean, clues in the name, isn't it?
Creative,
it's called creative grids.
Yeah.
But that's what they do so well, is just provide you with the tools for you to create your own quilts and really make it in the way that you want to.
Perfect. So the 6 inches down there, $22.95. The 8 inches across there, $22.95. Pick whichever one you want. Maybe both. Maybe go crazy, get both. But they are from Creative Grids. They are superb. Easy to use, intuitive to use. You are absolutely loving them, as you did last time. You're loving Lucy as well. We all love Lucy. That was a show, wasn't it?
Thanks so much. It was a fabulous show. Lucille Ball. Love her. I love Lucy.
It was probably joyous. Now, you'll be back again at 11 o'clock.
I will, yes.
Perfect.
Tilda with Tilda.
Ooh, more quilting with Tilda at 11, so join us for that. But in the meantime, a little change of pace and some lovely clouds. We'll see you in just one moment.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for The Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
My name's Sammy Claridge and I run an online fabric supply store, and I freelance, do projects for magazines like Simply Sewing and Molly Makes. I've been sewing all my life. My mum taught me. She was a seamstress in the West End in the 60s and she was always very practical. My dad was practical too. He got me making things in the garage with him, and my granddad taught me to paint, so I've got a very creative background, luckily. I think my favourite thing to make is probably accessories, so handbags and zip-top bags, anything small and neat. I like things that I can get finished quite quickly. I'm quite an impatient sewer, so I would say, yeah, small crafty projects, quick things to make. My top sewing tip to any viewers would be to take your time, you know, in daylight hours if you can, to, you know, setting aside some time to do the project. Why do I want to work with immediate media? About 6 years ago, I saw the initial layout pages for Molly Makes. Before it was even together as a magazine, it was just literally storyboard images of the hands holding the reels of thread and things like that. And I knew that that was a publication that I wanted to work with. And as soon as Immediate Media bought Molly Makes magazine, I knew that they were a company that I wanted to work with. They have a way of producing things that is to a certain quality level that no other magazine seems to be able to do. I've been in the industry for a long time, so to see it come to a level where it's now going to be accessible to so many more people, and to be able to practically see people doing skills and teaching techniques on TV, where you can fast forward and rewind and watch over and over again, and it's going to be invaluable to the community. Plus it gets those gorgeous fabrics and trimmings and tools that you may not know what to do with a tool, you know, we can teach you that, and we can show you the best way to use it, and then, you know, you can pass those skills on to your friends. I think I'm really looking forward to learning new skills. I am primarily a dressmaker and a craft sewist, so I'm really looking forward to watching the quilting segments and learning new techniques within the quilting segments, because that's something I've done in the past, but it's not something that I have excelled in the past, and I'm looking forward to learning new skills from my fellow designers, really.
A little change of pace. Good morning to you. Now, we've done about your quilting and all sorts this morning. Hello, Sammy, back again.
Mwah.
How are you?
Mwah. Very good, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Now, rested and rejuvenated. Oh, excellent. Ready and raring. Now, we're looking at a Joel Dewberry fabric.
Yes.
So, this is from the Atrium range. Very beautiful. Now, Joel Dewberry, I have to really slow down to say his name.
So we don't say Dewberry.
Dewberry, yeah.
Dewberry.
Joel Dewberry.
Yeah.
An American designer, artist, engineer as well. A craftsman, rather. He's very clever with bringing your geometric designs into something really pretty. He brings eclectic designs, gives them a modern twist, and brings them to us with a coherency that works. If I had to sum him up.
Yes,
that's
I would agree.
what I would say. So we've got a minty colour here, we've got a pink colour here. Let's have a quick look at this fabric, because we're using it in two different versions here. So this is just the cumulus, I believe it's called.
It's cumulus fabric, yes.
Cumulus fabric. You've got, in this one, you've got your pink, so you've got stylized, heavily stylized clouds, and again with your geometric raindrops, although sometimes it does come in. My mum said, coming down in steroids. And that's it. And then you've got the birds. Now that's in the pink, but in the mint here, and we've made a pyjama bag. I say we. Sammy's made a pyjama bag in here. Now you've got the white, the mint, and then you've got a little mustard accent with the birds.
Isn't that really sweet?
Pretty, isn't it?
I like that. I love
really
this fabric
lovely.
anyway.
Perfect for girls, perfect for boys. Something for everyone. But also, if you're using it to quilt, whatever you're using it for, we were talking earlier about, not knowing flavours of babies before they're born.
Yeah.
Then why not mix in the two colours? Then it doesn't matter.
I love the kind of tealy, turquoisey kind of colours, because I think although technically I suppose they're a blue, I think they still work for little girls, because it's kind of that kind of
It's a pretty one,
and it looks really gorgeous with the pink.
It all works. You could mix and match these two fabrics together, and absolute treat.
We're doing the opposite now. So I'm going to do the bag out of the pink.
Oh, nice.
And a cloud in the turquoise. Aqua.
Nice. So we're making cloud cushions, and we're also making a drawstring bag featuring for the first time on the Sewing Quarter. Da, da, da. And you chose to do this.
I know. I did it to myself.
You did it to yourself. Buttonholes. Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Mm-hmm. I can't believe in 2 months we've never done a buttonhole.
There's a reason why doing buttonhole live on telly could be interesting, but we'll give it a go.
Yes.
It's a good. I must admit, the way that we've done it is it's a good way to practice using your buttonhole foot, particularly with these machines, because they come with an all-in-one buttonhole. It basically does it for you.
Okay.
The issue about doing it live is that obviously positioning, and I'm doing two next to each other, which makes it even more complicated.
Brilliant.
Just for fun.
Director Tim is particularly excited about a buttonhole. He is. More so than actually the circle cutter, because he says he's seen the circle cutter before.
Yes.
So actually for him, today is all about the...
watching me do a buttonhole.
But if you haven't seen the circle cutter before,
we're going to be
this
using
hour
that
might
as
be
well.
all about that for you. But we've got lots for you anyway this hour, because we're making these goodies.
22.
Yes. Really pretty, gorgeous makes, looking beautiful in any bedroom. Absolutely gorgeous. We like a lot. We like a lot. What are we doing?
Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I'm just cutting out my pieces. I'm just actually doing a fat quarter, 20 by 22.
inches there.
Yes, inches.
Okay.
1/2 metre by 45.
Now, are we about to use a circle cutter?
We will be in
because
just a
the
moment,
details
yeah.
are up on the screen that away. £31.95. If you've not seen it before, it's one of my favourite things ever.
I think it's one of all of our favourite things ever.
Yeah,
We're all trying to find reasons to use it.
Perfect circle. Yeah, Tim says it's not his anymore because it's all about the buttonhole for him. All right, Director Tim, we'll get to the buttonhole. Steady on. Now,
So I'm just cutting my fabric so I can make sure I've got 2 bits the same.
we've picked out a pink to go with the pink cumulus.
And it matches absolutely
Doesn't it?
stunningly well, yeah.
Spot on. It's called candy floss. Here's what happens, and you can concur with this,
Yes.
Sammy. In our offices next door to the studio, we have a great big rail of all of our Macawa Spectrum solids, which is basically a solid colour. And when we get fabrics like this, we go, okay, so we need a colour that's going to be the same. We go along and we match it up, and that's basically what happens. And it's a happy event. We find the colour that goes because it's easier than for you trying to match it on your screen at home, which, quite frankly, is tricky.
Buying anything, particularly colour-wise, on a screen is always going to vary depending on your personal screen at home,
and
no matter how
when we
carefully
took the photos,
them.
the lighting of it, all those things, errors to go wrong. But this way, you can't go wrong. We are building you for success. So your Spectrum Solid is your candy floss. It's there. It's only £3.25 per 1/2 metre. How much do you need for this?
1/2 metre.
Oh, there you go, £3.25. There we go. And then down the bottom, down there, is the fuchsia atrium range in your cumulus fabric, otherwise known as Simpson clouds in our household.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Cutting tabs. Just wanted to give people a measurement because I know people will ask me.
Okay.
So the front piece, which is going to be the outside, is 20 inches square. Actually, I trimmed it down, so 20 inches square.
Oh, hang on, but we've got a sticky outy bit of
and the pink piece is 4 inches taller.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody? So 20 by 20 for the front piece, and then 20 by 24 for the inside and backing piece.
Right. Patricia's asked
already.
Should she wash the fabric before she uses it?
I always do. I don't know why. Some people say, some things are pre-shrunk and you don't have to. The colours won't run or anything like that. That's not why I do it. I do it because if you get a fabric that's fresh from a shop or a factory or whatever, I just like it to be clean. I like it to smell like I want it to smell. I like it to be washed in my washing powder with my comfort rinse, so that or other rinses are available. Also it can affect the handle of it and things like that. So I want to know that if it's something that is going to be washed a lot, I want to wash it first, so that it's how I know it's going to be going forward.
Get an insight into the world of Sammy Claridge there.
Yeah.
My smell. Yeah. No, why not? Actually, it is a thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was ironing something the other day, and it was like a linen finish fabric, and it smelled. I was ironing it, and it smelled like burning because of something they'd obviously put on to treat the fabric, probably some kind of Scotch Guard or something. But yeah, it smelled like burning, and I was like, I don't want the thing the bag I was making out of it to smell like this forever.
No, so wash it.
So I took it back off the pile and popped it in the wash, and now it smells lovely because I've used my own home happy
beautiful
things to do it. So.
Now I see you lining some fabric up here.
Yes.
Is it time?
It is almost time.
We're getting excited because Sammy's going to use our circle cutter. The first time we saw this, the first time we brought this to air, you got really excited. I got overexcited.
I got really excited. I was watching it at home. It was thrilling.
Everyone actually in the studio went, "That's amazing." I'll be honest, I still need to get myself one of these. And so, do you remember the yoga bag that you made very early on?
Yeah.
Still not finished because I haven't cut a circle for the base.
My dad is still bugging me to get one.
Really?
For him, for his garage, because he wants to use it for cutting paper.
Well, of course, it's got a Fiskars blade, so you can. And if you want to... Now, Fiskars would would say, certainly on some of the blades that I've looked at, that it's okay to use with paper and with fabric.
Yes.
I would say, from a personal point of view, that you can get replaceable blades on our website, have one for your paper crafting and one for your fabric.
Yeah, definitely keep separate
Job
one
done.
for your fabric, because obviously you want that to stay sharp, and obviously cutting paper with any blade will blunt it eventually. So yes, I would say keep one for fabric and one for paper.
But we do supply those ones on the website. So explain what you've done in preparation for the exciting moment
Let's
that is
move
about
this
to
way.
happen.
So all I've done is I want to cut 2 circles exactly the same size at the same time.
Get you.
Nothing like being risky. So all I've done is I've folded my fabric into 4 pieces.
Okay.
So I folded it in once, and then I folded it in half
Yep.
again. I've got my 2 folds at this edge, and I've just lined them up carefully with the edge of the, actually with the mat, and then I'm going to use the edge of this with the fold edge, because this you get...
It gives you 2 lines, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gives you the option to have a whole circle, to cut a whole circle all in one go.
Yes.
Using the fold, or you can cut 2 half circles, for instance, if you're doing the back of a cushion.
Yes.
And you want to put a zip down the back,
Yes.
or if you've got another reason to have 2 half circles, if you're doing something else. It gives you that option, it gives you the seam allowance at the edge with the other line, so that gives you those 2
And
lines. So you
where
need to
it
make sure it's
says, where
lined
it
up
gives the
properly.
measurements down here on the size circle it's going to cut you, this is the finished size.
Yes.
So that is actually a 2.5 inch that you'll cut on the 2 inch finished.
Yeah. So we're doing an 8. I'm doing an 8 today to go with this. Let's hope I measured it properly from what I did the other day, and I'm doing the same again.
So just slot it in.
So this has got like a little, they've got like little marks on the top here, so you can see where your blade is in relation to, if I lift it up, you can see.
It's
where
got
it's going to go little notches. You can
that keep it on the rails, doesn't it? If
yeah,
you will.
this is safe as well, because it doesn't do anything until you push it down. So that blade is nice and safe and secure, but obviously you've got 2 markings here. That's the notches that keep it in the rails, and you can see where they are because it's got a little mark on the top there as well. So I'm going to pop that in its little home, and then I'm going to, because I'm going through lots of layers at once here, it's a little bit tougher. But
Now
I
the
want to make sure I get...
handle will turn so that you don't have to contort with your wrist. You don't have to be a contortionist with your wrist. Now you've gone through how many layers now?
Almost. Oh, there's one little bit. That's so annoying.
Ah.
There we go. Oh, no, 2 little bits. 2 little bits. Oh, but just 2 little...
Oh,
honestly,
2 tiddly tiny
2
threads.
fibres. That was all. 2
And
fibres.
again, you'll get used to how much pressure you need to apply, but it's not a grip, it's just a push down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
Because of that swivel that's got on the top there, that's what does that motion, which means you can go around and not have to, move your hand around like that. You're just moving round, and you can go around in that single motion.
There you go. 4 layers of fabric, 2 perfectly cut circles in record... Well, it would have been record time if we hadn't chatted about it. Absolutely perfect. That makes me happy.
Yes, me too. I love it.
Sue's loving the solid colours. Hello, Sue. Oh, she's decided every time she places an order,
Yeah.
she pops a couple of different solids in.
Brilliant.
To
So she can build
her
up her stash.
Ah, that's the
And your
nicest thing, though, isn't it?
P&P or one for one day, all
because
that kind
then,
of stuff.
that's a brilliant idea too. Because then, when you come to it and you've got any of your beautiful pattern fabrics, you're going to find something to go. I do believe, though, Sue, we've got over 60 different solids.
Now,
So
yeah.
get placing those orders. Yeah, enjoy that. Yeah, but then you'd go to your cupboard and you'd have an entire rainbow.
You would.
When they are all in order, Sue,
like mine
they
at home.
look amazing. That's how we've got them on our rail, all in order, and it just... I don't know, I'd use them though, that's the thing. I'd have to order another one to replace as soon.
So you'd have your stack in your cupboard to look pretty,
Yeah.
and then you'd have your ones to use on the side. Why not?
That's how it happens, isn't it? What are we doing?
So I've cut the 2 circles, and what I've done is I've done that because I want the strength of 2, because this is going to be the base of our bag. So which is why I cut 2. You could use interfacing if you didn't want to use 2, but we didn't have any when I was making it, so...
There we go.
And I was making it here, not at home. So I'm just going to whip a quick...
If you
stitch.
did want interfacing, then we've got the hemline iron-on interfacing medium metre by metre size-wise for just £2.95. Our warehouse isn't on site, so when poor old Sammy's making stuff here, sometimes we just
Very
don't.
good.
We don't
have
have
most
it
things
here. It's in the warehouse.
Yeah.
But it's there in the warehouse waiting to wing its way to you for just £2.95. NXGQ17.
So all I'm doing here is I've got a long stitch on the machine and I'm just popping the two, literally stitching the two layers together.
Is that almost like a tacking stitch?
Yeah, really, just to hold the two in place, just because obviously we're going to stitch around that when we put the outer piece of the bag in place. So, I mean, you could pin it if you wanted to, if you don't want to stitch around, just, you know.
I'm still loving Sue's idea of grabbing a couple of solid colours every time you place an order. At £3.25 per half a metre. You know, actually, some places you'd be paying that for your postage.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
So, you know,
because you only pay 1 P&P a day.
You do. So our P&P here, in case you've never shopped with us before, is just £2.95 per day. The way that happens, because I know some of you are thinking, well, how can that happen? You can check out your basket as many times as you like throughout the day. At midnight, everything that you've bought throughout the day gets put together, and then just one P&P of £2.95 is then charged. So we don't take any money until midnight when everything gets taken together, and then it's charged to your account. So check out as many times as you like. As long as you've checked out your basket by midnight, just one P&P is applied, and off you go. Happy days.
Fabulous.
Hurrah! Woohoo.
Very handy when you forget stuff, like I do. I've checked out and I'm like, oh, man, I wanted to get that. And you're like, actually,
but that's the thing, isn't it? Because otherwise, if you were to be charged another P&P, then that's
it would put you off, wouldn't it?
The cost of a half metre of fabric.
Yeah.
Gives you more to play with your pretty things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are we doing now?
Again, I'm just popping a not quite so long stitch. Let's shorten that a little. I'm just going to pop it. I'm just going to pop the stitch through, and I'm going to show you where I've done it because it's easier for me to show it once I've done it.
Okay.
Although, I've got no thread. Hold on.
So
my needle's come unthreaded.
It's happening. Is this right sides together?
Yes, right sides together. And all I've done is I've moved the top of the fabric to the top of the pink that we had before.
Right. Okay.
And
so you've shimmied it up?
Yeah, the seam I'm sewing is the one that's just below the drawstring.
Okay.
There we go. I've got thread now. Awesome. Thanks very much.
And off we go again.
Let's try that properly. There we go. That's better.
And we're off.
With thread and everything.
Well, yeah, I know. Get us, aren't we? Posh here at the Sewing Quarter, using thread to sew with. Whatever next. But here we go. Let's see. Your Spectrum Solid fabric, candy floss, the perfect match. I really love these colours. Oh, look at that.
So I'm going to stitch across the top again there in a second to cover up because I've used the selvage.
The selvage, yeah.
So I'm just going to refold this again to show you whereabouts it's going to come. So I'm now lining up the two bottom pieces.
Okay.
So what this has created at the top here is we've created a panel of the plain fabric at the top, which is going to create the drawstring section at the top of the bag, and also then that goes down into the lining. Yeah, very similar to the way that we did the yoga bag.
I was thinking that, and I'm glad that we're repeating
creating the line with the drawstring section at the top. It just means that you don't have to add a section at the top, and also because we've got this open at the back to create the hook to hang it up.
Yes.
And the piece at the front, which we're creating with the buttonholes to create that drawstring effect. You get to have the two openings without having to.
So at the back,
you're going to have these two pieces. That's going to be the opening to have the loop at the back.
But
and then what we're going to do is we're going to have the two buttonholes.
Never been seen on board or before on the Sewing Quarter. Are your buttonholes? No pressure there, Sam.
Yeah, that's fine.
You designed it. I know. You did this to yourself.
I know I did.
Sammy.
I did it to myself. I like to.
And we're very pleased that you did, by the way.
Thanks. Good.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to pop this through again quickly to cover up those edge holes on the
If you've just joined us today, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've done a lot of patchworking, we've done a bit of quilting, and now, little change of pace for this hour. We are making a gorgeous drawstring bag. We said pyjama bag.
Yeah.
I think ballet kit, school bag, book bag, boot bag.
Obviously, you'd have to add
Any
something
kind of
to hold on
bag.
to. Although you were saying that your son didn't
Well,
want
no,
to put
we
it over his
discussed this in
shoulders.
because we call Freddie Bear. So when I found a little bear rucksack, I bought it for him.
Makes sense.
But it's a drawstring bag, but they're so long that he trips over it. It comes like way down here, and he's there, and he'll. So actually, if he just had a little handle to carry it by,
Yes,
would have been so much easier.
Yes.
I might just put one on it. Good idea.
Do it.
Yeah.
So yes, thanks. Duffel bag, if you like, of any kind. Right.
Oh, yeah, really it's handy, isn't it? You can't have too many bags.
No,
especially
absolutely.
not with kids and the paraphernalia that they always have.
Goodness, yeah.
Even if it's just a toy tidy.
Yeah.
Even if you're just stuffing those toys in and then hanging it on the hook at the back of the door.
Yeah.
Whew, happy days. What are we doing?
Right, so I'm marking out my positions for my two because I want them to be equally in the front to the back join for the buttonholes.
Right.
So I'm just going to measure here. So this is 20.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to my 10.
This is why I always forget that my my mat has measurements on.
Yeah.
Use your mat.
I mean, you can use a ruler by all means, but my mat's here, so I might as well use it.
Do it.
It's the same way that at home I've got I've got a measure on the edge of my table because obviously we sell fabric by the page at my online store. So I've got a measure there all the time. So I kind of automatically go to use the mat measurement when I'm here because that's what I'm used to doing because it's on the edge of the table.
You know, I'm just thinking, you know what we should have used? We should have brought on the show for yesterday. You know, yesterday we had the sewing guide.
Yes, yeah.
And that's got the buttonhole measure on it.
Yeah. Although we don't have to be too accurate with these because we're just threading ribbon through, we're not putting a button through it, so it's not...
Yeah, but
it doesn't have to be super accurate.
Okay, so where do we go next?
Okay, so I need to change the foot on my machine for this contraption. This fancy thing. A lot of people get these in their machine bags and go, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I think I had that reaction.
So this is an automatic buttonhole foot.
Nice.
So most of the machines will have, modern machines will have an automatic buttonhole. There we go, sorry.
Okay, you can...
manhandling.
Yeah,
and this is what you use to create that up and down and back and forth.
it's fab because you put the button in there.
Yes.
And then that will then create the buttonhole specifically for your button size. It's brilliant.
Yes.
And I really wish my grandmother was still alive today because
So you could
buttonholes
show
were the bane of her life. And she always used to complain about buttonholes.
Yeah.
And it's what she hated doing. God, I could have had it now. There you go.
So I don't have a button, so I'm just going to use a spare
Would you like
bobbin.
Because we've got, look. Can I interest you in a button?
They all might be a bit big. Oh no, we might be all right.
We've got a variety.
Let's go with... I've got to get this out of here
This is where I get told off for
wrecking the
set dressings.
set.
Any other buttons are available. Whichever button you fancy.
Let's
Pick a
go
button.
with
What about
that
that
one.
one? Oh, there you go. That's spot on. That's exactly the same size.
Perfect. Brilliant.
I shall scoop these away. I don't know where these came from. I better put them back in the jar. They look very pretty though.
So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just putting it in the end there. Let's ease that up so you can see how big it is. So you can go up to a reasonably large size button. I'm just popping the button in the end there, and then I'm going to scooch that up so that it holds the button in place. So that is the measurement for doing a buttonhole. So you know that when it does it at this end, because this bit slides up and down, it makes it the right size.
It's so clever.
Right. You also have this little gadget. I don't know if they're going to do a little zoom in on the machine, but on this machine you've got a little lever back here, and what you do is you pull that down into place.
Right.
And what happens then is that when the little notch on here reaches it, it stops and goes back in the direction. So that's how it knows
how it works.
to go up and down and back the other way.
It's like you are giving away secrets from the Magician's Guild or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see there, this is the bit that's going to hit it shortly.
Yeah.
In the middle there.
Now, this is your Elna 540 that comes with all of this. These are always on the website for you to buy any time you fancy a new machine. It's there for you, waiting.
So bear in mind that you start at the bottom of the buttonhole. Oh, excuse me, sorry. You start at the bottom of the buttonhole. God, that's a bit of a tongue twist, isn't it? And you move up Right, so you need to make sure that you start at the base. That's why I've done drawings, so I know where they're going to go.
Yes.
So that I know that I can start at the bottom and work my way up and then back down.
Okay.
You also have an automatic button on the side of the machine here that looks like a buttonhole, so I don't even have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You've got, on this machine, you've got 3 or 4 different buttonhole options, but it's got the most regularly used one as a button for you to just go to as an easy reference for your utility stitches. It's a really well thought out machine.
It is very
Details
handy.
for it will be coming up on your screen in a minute.
So I'm going to
We're going to see it in action.
Yeah, you can see it in action. I am doing this on a spare piece of fabric first, just to make sure that it's all okay. I would normally put my thread down, but I can't be bothered. There's a little button here that puts your needle down, so you can see exactly that it's going to be in the right place.
Oh, good thinking, right.
And then I'm going to press my foot on the foot pedal, hands free.
And it just does it. It's amazing.
And you see this is going to hit it now. It's going to stop and then go back down the other way. And then go back up the other
If
side.
you have one of these that came with your sewing machine and you haven't used it yet,
just have a go with it.
get it out.
Get it. There you go. And it beeps when it's done.
Oh, happy days. So you know.
So I'm going to lift it
It's
out
all
and show
done.
you how perfect that buttonhole is. Oh, that's out the way.
One buttonhole,
Just going to...
perfectly
Scooch. Thank you.
perfectly formed. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but it's closed.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a little tip for that as well in a mo. I'm just going to do my 2 on here.
Okay. Whilst you do those, because it's going to be exactly the same as the one that we've just done.
It's exactly the same. It does it automatically. You don't have to watch
Let
it
me give
again.
you the information on the sewing machine because it's a bit good. Here we go.
It's a bit
good. Yeah.
It's very, very good.
It's a bit good. The Elna 540EX sewing machine, 50 built-in stitches, including 3 styles of buttonhole and a range of utility and decorative stitches. Well, we're using one of those buttonholes today, in fact. Horizontal bobbin with your transparent cover, some load from the front. I like the fact that this is a horizontal one because then you can see when you're about to run out of bobbin. Built-in needle threader, thank goodness for that. Needle up and down facility that we've just seen. Adjustable presser, foot pressure, and your hard cover so that if you can't have it out all the time and it has to go away, or if you take it to workshops with you because it is light and portable to do so, perfect. £449 for a computerised machine that comes with all the gubbins. Thank you very much. Set myself again. Oh, look at this. Hands-free buttons. This would make my grandmother so happy. I can't even begin to tell you.
Makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Hours of wasted unpicking buttonholes is like...
Gone.
Yeah.
Thing of the past.
My machine does this too at home though, so... It
That's
doesn't
nice.
beep,
You can be
doesn't
happy
beep when
there,
it's done
you can
though.
be
Mine doesn't
happy
beep
here.
when it's done.
Oh, does it not?
No.
You need an Elna 540.
Okay. I do. I really want this machine.
£449. Mr. Sammy, if you're listening, a little birthday hint there.
There we go.
When's your birthday?
Oh, it's been actually.
Oh.
3rd of March.
Christmas
Christmas.
time, Christmas
To be honest,
baby.
we my husband and I have the same birthday, so
Oh, do you?
we do. Yeah.
That's really easy. That's almost like a cheat.
Yeah, I know.
That's really good planning. So he'll never forget it, unless of course he just forgets.
I'm
his
the
own
one
birthday.
I'm the one who forgets. I forget everything. Yeah,
Do
I'm
you?
terrible.
But it's your own birthday.
No, I don't. Well, I don't make you forget my own birthday, obviously, but I do forget like anniversaries and stuff always, and Valentine's Day. I'm terrible. He's brilliant. He remembers everything, and I forget everything.
Now, you see, we always have this in our house. We have this discussion, my husband and I. Do we take our anniversary from when we first met or wedding? Which do you do?
So we met
then you otherwise
the
you
day
end up-
we met,
Yeah.
same day we got engaged, same
right.
day we got married, but years apart. So we got the day we met.
That would have been pushing it a bit, wouldn't it? Otherwise.
So the day we met, the following year we got engaged,
Yeah.
and then 2 years later to the day we got married.
You just...
We thought about this because, again,
Yeah, you
I
did.
forget about everything. So we did it on purpose. Well, not the engagement. I didn't know about that, but we got married on purpose on the same day we got engaged.
This is brilliant. This is saving lots of time, effort, and worry.
Yeah.
Which leaves you far more time to make beautiful things like this.
Absolutely.
Now, you've popped a couple of pins in because
I have popped a couple of pins in because what I'm going to do is I'm now going to cut the hole in my buttonhole. So at the moment, these aren't holes, they're just stitched areas.
Yeah.
Stitched areas, a cliche if you like. So I'm going to now cut the inside fabric of my buttonhole. And what I've done is I've popped a pin in the end. You can do this with scissors as well. I do it with a quick unpick, that's just the way I do it. But you can get in there with your small little scissors and slice up. And what happens is that the joy of it, because you've got your pin in the end, you're not going to go any further.
And that is the best tip for your buttonholes, because there is nothing more frustrating than having done your buttonhole, you forget to put your pin in, and then you just slice through the edge of your stitching, and then you have to either hand stitch or start again.
There we go. Stops you from going all the way. Pins out. Buttonholes are now holes.
Yay! Woo! First buttonhole on the sewing quarter. Take a bow, Sammy Claridge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hurrah!
Didn't mess it up. Well done, Sam.
I wonder how many of you at home are sitting there with a buttonhole foot for your machine.
And now running away to have a go with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I go, why have I waited so long to use this? Why did I do that? It's so easy.
God knows. Go and have a go with it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant fun, and it's a really good thing to practice when you kind of sitting not doing very much. And the more you practice, the better you'll be at it.
But you know, the only thing that's put me off using mine is because I forget what this is for. I can never remember if I need that with a walking foot or with a... I know I need it with one of the big scary feet.
Yeah, the big scary feet, yeah.
In my head, walking feet and buttonhole stitches are the big scary feet, like monster feet. Yeah. And then just pop it up. I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that machine will let you do too much with that down unless it's with that foot.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, it won't let you. I'm trying to do a buttonhole again. There we go.
But you see, that's the other thing with this machine, isn't it? You've got those utility stitches at a button press away, the most often used.
Yeah, so your straight, your zigzag, your buttonhole, and your overlocking stitch are all there ready.
Hang on, what are we doing?
So I'm just, again, I'm going to show you when I've done it because it's easy to show. So I'm just stitching down, this is the top of the, where we're going to put the drawstring through. So I'm just, now that I've got my buttonholes in, obviously, I've just stitched across, just straight across the top, just to hold that section in place, because that's where we're going to thread the drawstring through.
Is that called, and I've only heard this term, so I'm not quite sure, but I think it might apply, did you just stitch in the ditch?
I did just stitch in the ditch.
Yes.
Yes, normally you would stitch in the ditch if you were doing a binding, but yes, anywhere that you stitch a line of stitching in between two pieces of fabric that are joined together technically is stitching in the ditch. Yeah, well done. Well done.
Thanks. I love the terminology in sewing. It's brilliant. And some of them sound delicious.
Yeah.
Some of them just sound plain weird.
Yeah.
And some are just quite satisfying.
Yep.
Stitching in the ditch.
Stitch in the ditch.
Stitch in the ditch.
We do I must admit, and crafting I think as well. We do like play on words, don't we? Like puns and you know, things that sound silly. We do enjoy them. Must be a thing.
Not going to lie, we do. Now, what were you doing there? Just finger pressing back?
I'm just folding in the edges of these. I would kind of probably go in and hand stitch them just carefully. This is the back section where we're going to have this. It holds it itself in place pretty nicely, to be honest, and we're just going to stitch right up to it to hold it. So you don't need to, but you could just hand stitch. I haven't with those, but...
So that's...
the section at the back where the loop is going to be.
Iron those... so that
just fold a little piece under.
And then you can always just hand stitch to hold into place.
Yeah.
Should you wish.
Okay.
Nice. I love these. The colours of this fabric.
I know, they're
really
gorgeous.
Lovely. Joel Dewberry, if only his name were easier to say, is fast becoming one of my favourite designers.
He's one of my favourites. I think it's because he does quite graphic prints, and although I like flowers and florals, but I think like geometric graphic kind of prints are definitely my bag.
I'm not going to lie, I've always been kind of a Tilda girl. You know, your pretty florals, you're really pretty. And I was scared of modern because I thought it's going to go out of fashion, stick to the classics. But actually, when faced with beautiful things like this, in such fresh, gorgeous colours, actually he makes modern classics.
Yes.
So this isn't going to go,
because it's not so modern that it's going to go out of. It's not someone that's going to go out of fashion, because
it's just a lovely print.
Still uses classic. I mean, clouds and birds and things like that, but he just puts a little bit of a modern twist on it, but without going all the way.
No one's going to go, oh, you know, clouds. Well, you know, that only happened last year. Yeah. No, not going to be the case. What are we doing?
I'm just pinning so I've folded this right sides together, everything, with my channel at the top, and I'm just pinning down the side here.
This is the side of the bag here.
Yeah, well, actually, technically it's the back. But yes, I'm pinning it to the side.
Okay.
So that I can get in and run a row of stitching down the back.
So that'll be down here.
So I'm making a tube.
Okay.
Making it into the tube.
Nice.
And then we're going to sew the bottom on.
There you go. This is the blue. We had the pink on the screen a moment ago. The blue again. Do you know what? For a top designer, that's what she's about to stitch. Sorry, Cat's mother. This is what Sammy is about to stitch down here. Is that back seam there? Joel Dewberry Cumulus fabric in mint. This is your mint fabric here. It's mint. £6.95. How much do we need? We need a metre of this. Half a metre. Hang on, that means that this bag, so you need a half metre of this, then you need a half metre of your solid.
Yep.
So this bag is coming in at £10.20.
Bargain.
With material left over.
Yep.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, so technically you would get two. You'd either get a bag and a cushion or two bags out of half a metre of the Joel Dewberry and half a metre of the plain, obviously. So basically,
£5 a make. Oh, do you want to see the aqua that we've... Oh, look, let me... we need to talk about the ribbon, actually, as well, because we haven't mentioned that. This is your blue aqua. Now, again, we did the same. We ran up and down our solid rail and found you this, which, again, matches perfectly. So this is your Macawa in aqua Spectrum Solid. So Sue, who happily emailed in saying, love the Spectrum Solids, popping a couple in my bag every time I buy. Good thinking. This one is your aqua. Yeah, producer Hannah says maybe we should sell her one of our rails as well, so that she could just display them beautifully. I put mine on, I keep my fabric in a wardrobe, and so I keep them hung up, so I can then just rifle through and see. Oh, Dee asked a question. Hello, Dee. Oh, Linda. No, completely wrong word. Person. Would she be able to do a quilted version of this bag if she wanted to quilt it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could go crazy. I mean, we've done it very simply because we need to get through it in an hour. But you know, you can embellish it as much as you want. You could put a plique on the side. You could do the plain and applique some clouds on the outside.
You could use your leftover Spectrum Solids, because we did a plique with letters yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
You could put the initials. When I go to pick up Freddie from nursery, they have all the bags and all the coats.
Yeah.
On the floor, ready to go, because you pick them up from a different door where you drop them off with the picks. So they have all the bags just on the floor waiting to go. I have no idea how they remember whose is which. But surely, if I put his initials on this would help.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Like we were saying the other day as well, a lot of schools, senior schools, require initials on.
They do
on your things.
Yes.
So I would say
yes. What are we doing?
Do it from the start. I'm just unpicking and doing it again.
Okay.
Just a little bit at the bottom.
Alrighty.
I think I made it a slightly different size than the other one. It's a bit skinnier.
We haven't talked about, and I'm just going to dance around the side of you there,
That's fine.
Sammy,
Feel free.
Because we've had a question about the pretty ribbon that we've used. And it is pretty ribbon. Which one do you want, pink or grey first? Producer Hannah? Grey. Grey goes with both, I think, beautifully. So if you're after an all-round, rather gorgeous ribbon, pick this one. Pop it in your stash. Have it in there because grey, as we keep discussing, goes with everything. So this is your grey, 445 for 4 metres. Nice. And it's got that lovely detail. It's grosgrain. Have I said that right? Grosgrain.
Grosgrain.
Grosgrain. I always call it grosgrain.
Yeah, because it's spelt grosgrain.
And then go, but that doesn't sound right. Yeah. And then I need someone to remind me how it is said.
Grosgrain.
Grosgrain. You see, I wouldn't be able to spell it from that. Oh, French, is it? Right, okay. Which is the texture of the ribbon, but that's what it is. Grosgrain. And then you've got the little detailing stitch on there, which is just a
very
beautiful...
famous jewellery shop uses that, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Bracelets in boxes.
Yes, they do. And it's on both sides as well. So a beautiful highlighting detail. That's in the grey. We've got it in pink too. Really handy. I mean, maybe that's just going to be an embellishment on a cushion, you know, a little strip. Maybe you've done a patchwork cushion and you've gone wonky in one area, because that happens. Then stick a ribbon over the top.
Need to use a circle cutter again.
Would be my advice. Oh, a circle cutter again?
Only because I've cut this a bit big.
Oh, have you?
I think I did the other one larger when I did it yesterday. So, just going to trim down at the edge of the circle.
Oh, you can, can't you?
Well, absolutely, particularly with this, because it means you can do it absolutely perfect the right... It'd be nice if we did it perfectly the right time. But,
well, you know, details. So how small are we making this now?
I'm just going to go... I'm going to go down to 6 instead of 8.
Really? That much smaller?
Yeah, because if you see, I've done it... I don't know why it's ended up so small. Maybe I did my measurements wrong. I'll double-check the measurements on that one when I get off air.
OK.
You see, it looks really... Yes, let's go down 1 first and see what it looks like. So I'm going to go down to the 7.
OK. Oh, the circle cutter. £31.95 for your circle cutter. We love it. That's gone through how many layers again? 4 layers again.
4 layers again, yeah.
In one go, £31.95. Yet again, another perfect circle.
That looks more suitable.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
More suitable circle. SYGQ 96, £31.95. When are you going to give in and get one for your dad?
Well, when they come back into stock and they haven't sold out by the time I get off air, that'll be when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the reason why I haven't got one yet.
To explain, what happens is items get taken off the website. You can't buy them when they're scheduled for a show. They get put into the show.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse if our designers have worked really, really hard and then you buy it all. There's a sudden rush and you buy it all before the start of the show.
Yes.
So they're kind of saved and put to one side for the show, which is great. But then when you lot love something and it sells out in the middle of a show,
I then can't buy one.
Can't get it. And that's the frustration. But happily today, we've got the circle cutter, £31.95. Today, Daddy Sammy, might be your day.
It might be, yes.
But we're using Wonder Clips too. Now, and you said, actually, yesterday, to quote you back at you... It's a scary thing, that, isn't it? Yeah,
what did I say?
I always worry when someone says, and you said, Natasha, I'm like, oh, cringe, did I?
What did I say?
Wonder Clips, perfect for circles.
Yes, yeah, absolutely perfect. Because obviously you're grabbing... If I was going to put... Which you can do, obviously, if you don't have Wonder Clips, although buy some because they're amazing.
They are wonderful.
They are wonderful, yes. You can use a pin if you don't have Wonder Clips. But the thing that makes it awkward, obviously, is that we're doing something here that's going to be... at a right angle, which means your pin gets a bit... It's because they're a bit long, you then end up having lots of pins and you kind of manhandling.
It's clumsy.
You're going to poke yourself in the finger, which I do regularly. Whereas with Wonder Clips, you can just clip over the edge just enough.
Happy days.
That it's
and you can actually measure how far over the edge.
Because they've got their little measures on the inside.
Measures on the back. That's why they are indeed wonderful and Wonder Clips. £7.95 gets you 10 of the little ones, which Sammy is using here. VKGQ 56. If you've never tried a Wonder Clip, give it a go.
The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a couple of little snips in the edge, alternately to where I've popped. So that what happens, a bit like if you were making a paper hat, you know, you would cut up into it and then it would splay out.
Oh, like a chef's hat.
Same situation. So I'm just going to pop a couple of little snips in here just to help it sit when I'm taking it through the sewing machine.
Are paper hats a regular occurrence in your house?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Of course.
Yeah, clearly, yes. Are you a lover of fancy dress?
Yeah.
There we go. The truth's out there. Have you gone to a fancy dress dressed as the Cat in the Hat?
No, never the Cat in the Hat, but other
potential there if you want to make a hat.
Situations have occurred. The Mad Hatter. I used to make hats, fascinators, and things like that.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so the ease at which you
why
just
I always
throw
go to a
out
hat
there,
when I think.
You know when you're making a hat.
Yeah. Because doesn't everyone?
Yeah. Always making a hat, me. Actually, my son does love a hat. He steals all my hats.
Well, it's, World Book Day, often you've got to make a hat. I've made lots for nieces and nephews and things for World Book Day.
Now, so, did you cut through both layers of the fabric?
No, I just cut through the top. I didn't cut through the circle because the circle's already circular.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So we don't need to make that more circular. That needs to stay as it is.
Yes.
We just need the top layer to be moving about a little bit, spread itself.
Sometimes I just need the obvious pointing out to me. The circle is already circular, Natasha.
Doesn't need to be any more circular. No.
Can you get more circular than a circle?
I don't think so.
There you go then.
Don't think you can.
These and other philosophical musings.
So you can see I'm just easing this around. I think I'm going to have a tuck because I think I should have done the circle slightly smaller.
Okay.
But never mind. Doesn't matter. You can tuck it to the back. It's not going to show.
And that is the thing to do, isn't it? Because don't be put off because you might get a tuck. Just hide. There's always somewhere to hide, isn't there?
And the thing is, if we're not making this to manufacture, it doesn't have to be immaculate. It just has to be done. Do you know what I mean? It has to be. If you want to actually get things made, not everything has to be perfect. It just has to be done.
I think that's quite refreshing and takes the pressure off.
Well, the thing is also when you're learning, I mean, obviously I should know better in theory, but when you're learning, not everything has to be perfect. You can unpick. Don't be afraid to unpick a few stitches here and there. No one's judging.
Pressure I put on myself, and I know I'm not alone in this.
No,
if I'm making something, it has to be perfect. Does it? No.
It's more important to learn the lessons whilst you're making it than it is to make everything perfect every time because it's just not realistic.
And actually you'll look back on those things that you started out with fondness and it gives you that marker as to how much you've improved. And that's, I think, what keeps people going because you see the improvement. You see, yes, I am better. I did do this better this time. Yeah. Make a couple. Maybe you've got a couple of grandkids or something. Make a couple and... you'll be a whiz at it by the time you finish.
You will.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to have a big tuck at the back, but again, doesn't matter.
Now, obviously, which one you give the perfect one to and which one you give the slightly wonky one to. Make them both
imperfect on purpose and then it doesn't matter.
And now, let's have a look at what we've got on the screen for you. The Wonder Clips, which you can see Sammy using... Oh, that she's just taking them off.
Sorry, I'll take them all off
was using... But that's the joy of them, isn't it? They just out you come. $7.95 for those VKGQ56. Now the fabric is the solid that we've got for you. That's for the lining. That's what we've just seen done there. Nice.
Looks a bit more like one of those bags that you definitely did the measurements wrong. Looks a bit more like one of those bags that you put your plastic bags in, doesn't it? But...
Oh, again, handy. Or balls of knitting wool.
Yep.
Pop it in there. Oh, you know what you could do if you were doing this for your balls of knitting? You could have done another buttonhole to let the yarn come out.
At the bottom, maybe.
At the bottom.
I need the ribbon, please.
Oh, pink or grey?
Pink, please. Thank you. And then we're just going to feed this through, if I can get the wrapper off.
That's a toy tidy, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Now... bodkins would be the way forward, wouldn't it?
They would. I do have one.
You introduced me to a bodkin. And this is why
This
we
is
need a
particularly good
bodkin
as
in
well.
our lives.
This particular bodkin is particularly good for this because
You
it's
get
the
two in the
pinch.
pack.
You do,
Yeah.
you do. The other one's great for doing elastic because it's more like a needle bodkin, so it's a very chunky needle.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is a grabby one. I'm sure you've seen me use this on TV before. This is a grabby one. It's got this nice little slidey manufacture situation going on here. So what happens is that we put the ribbon in the end to grab a hold it in your fingers and slide this piece down, and that grabs that and holds it beautifully in place so that you can feed it through.
The rest of you are still rummaging for a very large safety pin.
Yes.
It's true, though,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Which is never quite big enough.
And they come undone halfway round.
Yeah.
I mean, you've not got far round to go
No.
with this, but even so.
But then it comes undone before you've gone all the way around, and it's annoying. The bodkin is made to stop any of that, and off you go again. So $1.90 for a $1.95 investment, and you get two. That's less than your postage. Pop it in your
It's
basket.
such a handy gadget. I cannot tell you how many times I've used this, and this is one of the things that I said when they first said, "What tools do you want?" I was like, "Bodkin, this bodkin in particular."
I remember.
Please. Thank you very much.
I remember. There was just this shout of bodkin, which I thought was some sort of medieval dress.
Does sound a bit like
yeah. What's she talking
Medieval
about? What's she
torture
making?
device.
She's making a bodkin, but no. Now, super long, but
You want
You've
enough
got
to
a hook on the
you want
back.
enough to tie, and obviously so that's why we've threaded it all the way through. So we've got this loop at the back that's coming out of the little fold tucks that we made in the seam at the back, so we didn't join it all the way up. So I'm just going to pull that out and tie the loop in the back.
I might do this on my yoga bag and finish off my yoga bag.
There we go. So that's the loop. So you can make that as big as you want. I kind of made it, in theory, to tuck over either like a hanging rail or something, or your door handle in the kids' room, and then you can pull that up to it.
Well, you see, that would then also hang on Freddie's hook at school.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
perfect.
theory. So then you can either leave it open enough to pop your laundry in and tie a little bow, or if you don't want it to, if you're dragging it around places, you can just tie it up a little bit tighter.
Nice. Oh, yeah, laundry bag as well.
Yeah, laundry. That's what I was thinking we would use it for. Or pyjamas. Yeah, that's
Pyjama
what
bag.
pyjama bag, laundry bag.
We need so many
Just
bags
snip
in
off
our
some of these
lives.
odd threads that I should have done before. There we go.
Job done.
I will put the correct measurements. I will give the correct measurements to the call centre.
Okay.
When I measure that one, when I get off.
So the call centre number 0800 112
Or if you want to make a nice little
4433.
skinny one.
But actually, I love the idea of that for your plastic carry bags, like you say.
Yeah.
Hang it on the back of your kitchen door. Job done.
So you can give them back to the delivery man when he comes next time.
Yay! So, now, very quickly.
Yeah, that's
Very
fine.
good at tying bows as well, aren't you? The
Thank you.
cloud. The cloud, very
Yes.
quick. Oh,
Yeah,
gosh,
no, that's
less
fine.
than 10 minutes to talk about clouds.
Honestly, the cloud is so simple. That's why we left it to the end, because if we didn't have time, it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
We've done 2 layers of the same fabric, and again, you can see I've done it in the alternate in the Joel Dewberry. It doesn't matter what way up you get this either, because the birds are flying both ways. I was looking at it yesterday.
They are actually, aren't they?
I was like, does it matter? Does it matter? No, they're flying both ways, so that's fine. And then all I did was draw a simple cloud shape. Now, the cloud shape that I used was actually in issue 7 of Simply Sewing.
Aha, so if you're a
magazine.
subscriber to our sister magazine, Simply Sewing, you're ahead of the game already.
Also, I think you can download it from their website. If you go to issue 7, you can download the thing and print off exactly this shape, or you can draw your own cloud. It's not difficult. You just, you loop shapes. And then we're just going to sew around.
Yeah.
If we were to cut it first, what's going to happen is that it's going to stretch as we're sewing.
you're right, 'cause it's on a
so we want to
bias.
make sure that it's smooth. So I would draw it out, sew, and then cut it away. So I'm going to do that now.
Okay.
Super fast.
I'm going to leave you then to do that, and I'm going to. Shall I take a walk, producer Hannah? Yeah. Let's take a look at these. So, this is the blue. Now this. Producer Hannah said, "Is that upside down?" No, it's not, because the birds fly both ways. So there isn't a right or a wrong way. It's like a blustery day. Birds fly any which way. So there we go. That is your mint atrium. It's that fresh colour. Absolutely love, love, love this. $6.95, APRW08 for that. Now we've matched it, and you can see beautifully matched it there with the aqua from our Macawa Spectrum Solid range. Lots of you loving this today. Do you know what? Aqua is so in, this minty aqua colour is so in this season that I would just have that in my stash anyway. $3.25 per half a metre. FWMY08, like Sue, she never knows when she's going to need it. Get it in your stash. Now let's take a look at the pinks here. We've got Candy Floss, and then you've got your pink Joel Dewberry as well. Let's go with the pink Joel. Let's just call him Joel from now on, it's easier. Here we go. And again, non-directional clouds and birds, they fly both ways. And just, oh, instead of having that mustard highlight with the birds, there's a deep fuchsia there. So it's a very pretty, feminine yet geometric. Oh, it's lovely. RGRW10. Love, love, love these, and so easy to work with. They're 100% cotton, beautiful to work with. And we've matched it with the Candy Floss Spectrum Solid there, which is just $3.25. I hear Sammy snipping away. So $3.25 for this one here, and that's your Candy Floss Spectrum Solid. I hear a snippity snip, snip, snip. Sammy, what are you doing?
I'm just snipping away, as you would normally with any curves. I'm just snipping into, so that when we turn it the right way round, I've left a gap at the bottom here. I've just stitched all the way around, and I'm just snipping away the curves so that when we turn it the right way round, the curves will be nice and smooth.
Now you're using your rose gold scissors for this,
I am,
and
because they were the ones I found.
The last time that this happened, it sent the internet into a little bit of a frenzy for the rose gold scissors. Now these are on the website. They're $16.95. We had them on the shows yesterday. Sent the internet into a frenzy because look how good these are. Beautiful, but snipping right to the very end. That's the sign of a good scissor. Functional, yet beautiful. Happy days. Awesome. We like this. So just snipping around the curves because...
if you turn it around and you don't snip, all that happens is that your fabrics are going to flip one way or the other, which means you're not going to get that nice smooth. You end up getting that kind of slightly boxy looking curve, which is often how you know you haven't done it.
Right. Less than a minute. Can we do this?
That's fine. I'm just going to turn it through and stuff it. So yeah.
Yay! Now we had the Wadding on the show yesterday, so do take a look again on the website if you want toy fill. That would do, wouldn't it? Your toy filling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's what we
we've
used
got great toy filling somewhere.
Sorry, there's a bag down
there. Grab it for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's see how much we can stuff in there before the end of the show to give you your fluffy. Yeah, look, you get 250 grams, which actually is an awful lot.
Well, I did the big cushion, the big pink one. I did with like 3/4 of a bag, I think. So you probably. And
it's only $2.95 per bag, so it's not an extravagant. This is not an extravagant make, but you start to get the idea. We are fast running out of time.
Yes.
Stuff it as much as you like, but that is your cloud.
You can see how much you get that slightly more curved finish with doing that clipping of the curves rather than the square.
Thank you, Sammy.
Ones. Thank you.
We are out of time, but thank you so much. Clouds and bags. What could be better? See you in just one moment for more quilting. Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love. Here at the Sewing Quarter, we want to bring our viewers the best and most exciting opportunities to learn and expand your knowledge. To help do this, we will be bringing in some of the leading industry experts in sewing and quilting to help guide our viewers along the way. Such as Jennifer Taylor, Samantha Claridge, Lucy Brennan, Jo Carter, Angela Atwood, Karen Lewis, Rebecca Reed, and finally Jenny Fox Proverbs, who is the senior editor of Today's Quilter and Love Patchwork and Quilting magazines. Sewing Quarter is at the very heart of sewing as we bring you all things sewing and quilting. The team behind us live and breathe sewing day to day. We strive to bring you exclusive offers, exciting live demonstrations, and most importantly, we will custom cut fabric to your specification in our very own cutting room. We will also be bringing you TV exclusives that you won't be able to find anywhere else. So come and join us today at the Sewing Quarter.
Welcome to the Sewing Quarter!
Join us on Thursday the 30th of March for more innovative dressmaking ideas from Cloth Kits. Jennifer Taylor of Sewing Bee fame will be showing us how easy it is to make your own clothes with Cloth Kit's range of printed sewing patterns and some lovely fabrics from Art Gallery and Amy Butler. So to learn how to create your own beautiful clothing, join Jennifer on Thursday the 30th of March at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Did you know there are multiple ways you can contact us, even if it's just to ask a question? Our friendly team are always on standby. You can call our customer service team at 0800 112 4433, email us at help@sewingquarter.com, visit our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Sewing Quarter, and even message us through our website, and our presenters will answer your questions live on air. Hello, welcome back. Now, I let you into a little secret earlier that Tilda is one of my all-time favourite designers. And you know what? I've actually finally learnt how to say the designer's name. Well, her first name, anyway. Turns out it's spelt Tony, Tone, but apparently pronounced tuna. Who knew? So there we go. That's my trivia for you, and I know that to be a fact. Here we go. So this is what we're making today in quilt form. This was made from your Hearts and Kisses range, which is, your Sweetheart range, sorry, which is in a bundle form for you of 9 different designs in fat quarters, which allows you to make something like this. Or should you wish to have an entire quilt? And again, perfect for your baby quilts. That's your Hearts and Kisses. Well, this is your Hearts and Kisses design that we've done there, because you've got your hearts and your kisses, and it's from your Sweetheart Tilda range. Do you get where we're going there? So, beautiful either way. We've made this from the Sweetheart range, but we're going to make it today out of another range so that you can see how it all works in different designs, because quite frankly, a quilt out of any Tilda is going to be stunning. So let's take a look out of the Pardon My Garden fat quarter range, because that's what we're about to use today. That's what it looks like. Beautiful. That's how it will be delivered to you, looking, quite frankly, right nice. Beautiful. I am so happy that you're making it out of the Pardon My Garden. Firstly, because it's a name that makes me smile.
It does me too.
Yes!
I love the name. It's a great name.
Secondly, it's gorgeous. Hello, by the way.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, that quilt was all your design?
Yes.
The old Hearts and Kisses?
Yes.
It's been so popular we brought it back, and I'm really pleased that we're doing it, like I say, in the Pardon My Garden range, because it just goes to show how versatile Tilda is.
Absolutely, yes. And I went with the Hearts and Kisses, and obviously it had red in that one, and this one doesn't. But I still think hearts it's a lovely motif in any colour. So.
Of course it is. How do you start in choosing what colours to go with what and which to do where?
Well, I mean, with the fat quarter bundle, they all match, so that's all taken care of.
Hard work's done for you?
Hard work's done for you.
Okay.
The only thing that you do want to think about with this design, we've got, in the original one, had 5 squares that had the heart, and then 4 that have the crosses.
Yes.
So the crosses I did with the ribbon. So the ribbon comes, I think it's just...
There you go. Here's your ribbon.
It comes in three. You've got 3 colours of the ribbon. We're going to have to break that open because that's the one I'm going to be using.
We're going to crack this open.
We are. So you've got the blue, red, and the cream with the pink on, and actually on the red one, it's got pink printed on it.
Oh, it's easy
but
to think.
all of those colours that go with the is it Sweetheart range actually are in the Part of My Garden as well.
Well, that's why you can mix and match them absolutely beautifully. So, for example, if we take a look here, you'll see that blue in that flower. You'll see that red there. And then you'll see those pinks through there. So you can mix and match these ribbons throughout. No problem at all. £9.95 for your set of 3 Sweetheart ribbons.
So when you're choosing the fabric that's going to be the background for the ribbon, you want to think about the fact you're going to be putting those colours on it.
Right.
And then when you're doing the applique, it's easier to applique a darker fabric onto a lighter one.
Right.
Because if you use a very pale one, you know, if I was to put this one over the top of this one, you'll see that print coming through the lighter one. Even if you're using interfacing, you still can sometimes see it. So you just want to be mindful of that.
I think this cream with the pink will go on any of them.
I do.
Because green and pink work, don't they?
So
look, I mean, look,
nicely.
that's how pretty is that together?
You are putting it on the ones I've chosen not to put the ribbon on, but never mind. It would work, wouldn't it?
You're the designer at home.
Oh, maybe they are the ribbon ones. No, they're not. Okay, we'll just go with it.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
But you
hours of playing.
You can totally play and do it any which way you like. I'm starting absolutely from the beginning, so I'm showing you step by step my thought processes for which fabric I'm using where, and also how I'm
cutting. Which I might confuse and go, but why don't you do this?
And we can swap it round should we decide to. And then I'm showing you how I'm cutting the pieces, and then this way you'll know how to cut all of your squares, and you'll also see how much you've got left over. It's quite interesting.
Quick heads up for you at home. Now, on the first hour today, if you were up early enough at 8 o'clock to join us, firstly, well done. And secondly, you were going crazy for the warm and white. This, is now in single figures because you were going so crazy for it. This is the bleached white version of your warm and natural. Can you just see the difference in the colour there? So we used this earlier because the warm and white, it was so easy to use underneath the white panels and the lighter fabrics. So that's why we had this. Now these are both 100% cotton wadding / batting, depending on whether you're American or British or whatever it's the same stuff. 100% cotton. It's both of them needled so that you don't have to have all your chemicals and stuff to hold it all together. Very few of the warm and white left. This is 45 inches by 60 inches. That's 115 centimetres by 150 centimetres. Both are the same size. It's just that this one hasn't been bleached. So if you're desperate for the white, please check out your basket now. But otherwise, same product. They just didn't bleach it.
Can I mention something about wadding?
Yeah.
If that's okay. So they're both lovely. It's a great brand. Most places sell the natural. If you go into a quilt shop, most places tend to sell the natural. Not as many sell the white. It's a little bit harder to get hold of. When you put white fabric on these, there is a huge difference in the appearance of the fabric. So anything that's light, anything that's white, or even pale colours will show up completely differently. You wouldn't think it until you lay it over the top. You can't really see. You wouldn't imagine it would be so different, is what I'm saying. With the white, it really makes the white pop. It gives no discoloration to it. White on the natural looks more vintage.
So perfect with your Tilda.
So it really depends on what fabric you're using. You can't. You don't have to use the white for white. Are you with me?
Okay.
You can use the natural, but it gives a completely different look to the fabric. It softens it, makes it slightly yellower, not massively, but it just gives it a
more
softer,
creamy, vintagey look, whereas the white's going to be
will make it stand out and keep it white and bright. So it just depends on the look you're going for. Both
the same size, both the same price. Why not try one of each? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
£8.95. Oh, the white one's very limited, so you'd have to get at your basket and check it out now. Check out your basket or ring our free phone number 0800 112 4433. I'm not going to show that again because it's very, very limited.
Not surprised.
And this is the same quality, same brand. This would give a more, like you say, slightly more vintage look. So perfect for your Tilda.
But a vintage look on very, very pale. Something like this, it isn't going to make a huge difference which one you choose, to be honest. It's if it's very, very pale or you're using something with a lot of white, then the difference would be noticeable.
Like the panel that we had, the Hungry Caterpillar panel.
Where it's got a lot of
white
white in the background. Yeah, but for anything that's got colour and print, it doesn't really matter which one you use, in my opinion.
Awesome. And which counts, because you are our expert.
Thank you. I try. So for this quilt, I've got 9 blocks. So each square is 10.5 inches.
Right, so that's going to give a 10-inch finish. Get me, I'm learning.
10-inch finished block, yes. So I need, to start making the quilt, 9 10.5-inch squares.
Right, there is a happy thing that happened here. We were talking before the show, and you said to me, for goodness sake, I keep thinking that I've got to cut 10 inches.
I do. I just had it in my head. I've got this 10-inch block. I've got to cut 10 inches.
That it's actually 10.5 that you've got to cut. And I went, that's easy. You've got a creative grid. Just use the black side.
Yep.
Done. Because the black side on the grid gives you your 1/2 inch extra.
Yes.
So you're just going to cut on the 10.5-inch line.
On the 10.5-inch line.
This snazzy little ruler. I like this. It's a useful size, isn't it?
I also have this one at home.
And I use this one. It's home for you
here, isn't it? Home. It's delightful. It's a great size.
Joyous earlier. Yeah, delightful now.
These 2 rulers, fabulous. I like having a square ruler for squaring things.
Yes.
For squaring blocks.
Yes.
I actually use the longer one for squaring up a quilt. I just use that one on its own. But for squaring up your blocks, I mean, this is 16.5, isn't it? So if you're wanting to square up bigger ones, you'd either have to fold them or get the very big square one.
We've got a Mahoosive one somewhere, which is 20.5 inches.
We have.
Okay, Lucy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, which is, if I am starting to quilt, I've got a friend who's, just starting to quilt, and they were wondering if they had to buy just 2 rulers to start off with, what ones should they get? This friend.
Is the friend doing machine quilting?
Yeah, she might be.
They're doing machine quilting, definitely the long one, and then the square one makes life easier because you can square things up so easily on it because it's a square. How many times did I say square?
It's that easy.
It's that simple.
Square. Now this is the long one that we were talking about. This is 6.5 inches.
And that's just what we call it. We just say the long one
by 24.5 inches, aka the long one.
The long one. We all use it, and I use it all the time.
This is from Creative Grids. It's in inches. We have to give centimetres because it's the law. £23.90. Turn it around and go by the black measurements. Brilliant.
And it also, all the little measurements are every 1/8 of an inch.
Happy days.
So, if you have to cut an odd measurement, you can do it with that ruler.
I try and avoid. But yeah, if you have to.
Well, sometimes that's what the pattern calls for.
The opaque bits on here is your super grip, which means that actually, however small a piece of fabric you're cutting, it's going to grip, it's not going to slip, you're not going to miscut. All thought out very carefully. This side here is opaque for a 1/2 inch, this side here to a 1/4 inch. That's how well thought out this is. Love Creative Grids. Rapidly becoming my favourite rulers.
Yep, they are mine. So
this is the Big Daddy Square.
This is the big square. And what I've decided is that this one is going to be the background for my central heart. I think making this one today, I'm going to do 1 heart block in the centre.
Okay.
So just because of time, I'll leave the other ones just as they are. But I'll show you how I do the applique heart. I'm going to use this one as the heart on this paler one. I think that will stand out really nicely, and also lets me fussy cut that, so I'll show you that in a minute. So
this is what we're making, just so you can see, but in a different colourway. Ooh. That's with your Sweetheart Tilda range. And we've got your 9 fat quarters in a lovely, beautiful bundle. Is 9 fat quarters enough for this?
It's more than enough.
Okay, good.
Yes. You can, you'll see how much I've got left over. You can...
5 for 9 fat quarters. Tilda is a top quality, 100% cotton, stunning to use. If you have never tried Tilda, then you might look and go, that's quite expensive for fat quarters. But actually, when you use it, you're not going to want to use anything else. It is so delightful to work with. It's just such a beautiful print. The colours work. It's got that gorgeous, shabby chic, vintage feel to it. It's just a thing of pure joy and beauty. I love it.
I love it too.
We love it.
We love it.
Now, let me show you the part of my garden, because this is what we're working with. Shall I have a... Oh, we'll look through it in a second. You get cutting, apparently. You've got to get cutting.
Yes, because I'm ready and waiting.
I know, I see that.
So I'm cutting the 10.5, so I'm lining it up. 10.5, 10.5. I'm going to cut this way. I'm just going to move this way and cut away from myself.
Okay, a little dance step to the side.
Just a little step to the side. It's really easy, and this is the only part that I'm using in the quilt. So that bit of fabric, so I've got that left over. Okay, so that's my first leftover. Now I could, if I was doing all the hearts, I might use that to
do more hearts
with. So that's my central square cut out. And then for the corner ones where I have the hearts in the pattern, I'm going to cut 2 from this one. So I want to find the longer side, because that's going to give me the 21 to cut 2 10.5s. So I will fold it. You can trim the selvage off before or after. Doesn't really matter at this point. And I'm going to cut it 10.5.
Okay.
So I'm just lining up that side and lining up the fold. I don't need to line that up with the 10.5, just so long as I know that that's straight. Yeah. That's all that matters. So then I just cut that.
Was your selvage part of that 10.5?
That I've just cut. Yes, I'm going to cut it off.
Okay.
You'll see, yeah. So that was that folded in half, and then I'll cut 1.
Whilst you cut that, I'm just going to go and grab something that I spied. They took a while to come into the studio, but this was from the Pardon My Garden range. We actually had these as little kits, but you'll... oh, he's come undone. You'll notice the material sneaking in again.
I love those. They're so cute.
So you see, with your leftovers...
Yes, perfect.
You could make... That's out of one of the books. Yeah. You can either buy it as a kit or it's out of one of the books, whichever you wish. But this is the thing. So with your leftovers... I am going to have to retie his little cravat. If you've got any of the Tilda books, then you know you get the patterns for those in there, or with your leftovers or whatnot, get playing.
Yeah. So because I'm cutting 2, so I've cut 1 from that strip that I've cut. I'm cutting the second one, and you can see here that I'm trimming that selvage off. Now, if I were to trim that off first, I might have cut too much. Do you see what I mean? So I like to do it after.
So it's not incorporated in the actual amount.
No.
Okay, that's all right.
So,
I was worried
so from
that you were
a fat
have
quarter, you can get 2, but you need to cut it from the right side. The other side is too short. So that's why I measured the fat quarter first to make sure I'm cutting it from the longer side. So that's my centre one, and my 2 of my corner ones. I'm just going to do the same thing again with this one.
Whilst you do that, shall I flip through some fabrics for you?
Yes.
We're using the Pardon My Garden. The original quilt was made out of the Sweetheart, but this is how it comes to you. Beautiful. Then if you're anything like me, you rip it open and have a good old rummage. And this is what you will find. We've sewn these together, apparently to make them easier to work with, but Here we go. Here we go. So you get that one. That one. Aren't these gorgeous? I love that you get this bolder, almost navy in there as well. That, which I made a snail out of. That one, which we're going to use for the half applique. That one, if you want to have the change from your snail. In fact, I think I've started making a monkey out of that one. As you do. Casually making a monkey. There we go. There's that as well, which is going to be our centre one, I do believe. I love this one. Oh, look at that. How pretty is that? And then what else have we got in here? Oh, this bright pink one there. Love that pink and green combo. It's like an avocado, isn't it? That's your 9. Yeah, that's your 9. Oh, that's made producer Hannah hungry now. She now wants avocado on toast.
Oh.
It's nearly lunchtime, don't worry. Pop those there. There.
So these 4 are going to be the fabrics that I'm using for the crosses.
Did you pick those out because they had blue in?
Because they had blue in, because you can separate it into the blue and the green, and I thought that's just going to give more of a distinction between the hearts and the crosses.
Why not? But this is, I want to know your thought process for this.
Yeah, so I thought that those would look nice with the ribbons on as well. So with the light blue, if I just lay it out like that, and this is a good thing to do at home, you can see how it's going to sort of disappear into the lighter ones, and it does stand out quite nicely on that one. And this one, because it's quite busy, it doesn't stand out quite as much on that one either. So I would put the blue on either of these ones. That's going to work on any of them. And then the cream fades away a bit on that one.
Is this where you would take a photo and take a look on it?
Yes,
I think it was you that said that.
Yes, I do.
Take a photo
I do.
and have a look, because then it just gives you a different dimension.
And once I've cut the blocks out, if I was at home, I would cut out the blocks to size and then lay them out before I started appliquing anything or making any big decisions, because that's really going to give me a bit. You know, I've just looked at this and decided where I'm going to put them.
Yeah.
It might work, it might not. But until I lay it out, I won't know. So I like, you know, they're all the same size, so there's no difference in placement. You're cutting them all to 10.5 inches, so then you can lay it out and decide which ones you want on top of where.
10.5 inch squares is going to give us a 10-inch block, which is going to give us a lovely size, just under a metre size quilt.
Yes.
Firstly, super easy if you're a beginner, because you're working with big sizes. We worked with the Scrap Crazy from Creative Grids earlier, which you know might be too daunting if you're just starting out. This is your very first quilt,
and it's so easy to do that a lady on Facebook made one on the same day when I originally made it and posted it in the Facebook group. I'm so sorry I've forgotten your name.
Within the same day?
Beautiful quilt in the same day. Beautiful quilt she made with the same pattern, following the instructions.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes me happy.
really lovely.
That makes me really happy. If you want to go all out tilde, then do take a look on the website, because we do have some tilde fabrics by the half metre, so you can just get one. I mean, I know you said you've got some left over, but it won't do the whole backing. But if you would like to do just one full sheet of tilde on the back for the back of your quilt, then check out the website and you can buy it by the half metre from there.
Yeah, there are days when I think a pieced backing is marvellous, and there are days when I just think it's not going to happen. I'm not in the mood to do any more piecing.
Not today, dear.
I'll just do a full, you know.
We're getting quite an insight into the wonderful world of Lucy Brennan's brain today.
When I was designing this, I did do it so that you can just use, you know, a full piece of fabric for the back.
And it's
because if I'd made it too wide, you wouldn't be able to do.
So if you'd have added an extra one on,
you can
would have taken it to
100. You can do one extra one and
20
and get away with it,
wouldn't it?
You can do that. Yeah, one
Depends
extra
how
one.
wide the fabric is that you're using on the back.
But it throws the pattern off a bit, and then it's a bit too regular.
more
I
like
like having a bit in the middle, so you'd have to make it 5 blocks, I think.
Oh, you like uneven, don't you?
Yeah, but then you've got a then you've got a block in the centre. You see,
heart,
so visually, I think that looks nicer. But
that's how
do
you
it as you like.
Yeah,
you do it as you like.
I designed it.
So, in fact, I should do this the other way. I've just lined up the fabrics, and you should always do this. I've lined them up along this edge, and what I'm going to do is just trim this edge here, so I'm working with straight edges to cut my squares. Okay. I am doing 4 at a time. I've worked in a quilt shop, so I'm very comfortable doing that. I don't recommend you do 4 at a time if you are a beginner. I think you should get used to your rotary cutter first, and you just do 1 at a time. And then when you feel confident, you know what you're doing, you're happy with your rotary cutter, then do 2.
But because Lucy's hexpert,
build up.
We'll let you do it.
Yes.
And also, using things like your Creative Grids ruler means that you're not going to slip. You see, the other reason that I wouldn't dare go through 4 using anything else, quite frankly, is in case I slipped and I then ruined 4 fat quarters of tilde. I compare it.
No.
Yes,
don't.
No. There we go.
Yes, no, don't do that. That would not be good.
No.
So readjust that.
But it is a lot quicker if you do want to go through.
Yes, it is much quicker, and I do. There isn't anything wrong with cutting layers of fabric at a time. Once you're confident and you're comfortable with cutting,
it's just that skill level, isn't it?
Yeah, but it does when you've made a few quilts.
Hey, look, you don't go 70 miles an hour on your first driving lesson, do you?
No, absolutely.
Well, I would hope not. Okay, let's give you these details. Creative Grids non-slip squares, which is the one that Lucy's using there. $34.95. Of course, once you've got them, you've got them. It's a one-off payment, isn't it? Once you've got it, that's it. You've got it.
I just store them safely, keep them flat.
Job done.
And they're perfect.
The Part of My Garden Fat Quarter range here, $37.95. A delight, I think, in anyone's eyes. It's vintage, shabby chic, never going to go out of fashion. Stunning prints, and it just works so beautifully.
It does. So that's my 8 cut out.
Right.
8 squares for the outside.
Look how much
That's
you've got left over. Wow, okay.
So, and that's 4. So I've got 4.
It's a snail or 2.
There, so easily. So that's all of those left over, along with those. So that's that.
So you can do matching cushions.
You can do matching cushions, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do a couple of matching cushions and a quilt.
Because you wouldn't have to necessarily do the blocks as big, would you, for the matching cushions? You could do scaled down versions.
You could, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I did it slightly different because I did rectangles in the cushion.
Oh, hello. What's going on here?
So now we're going to do the applique part, and I just have interfacing today, not the double-sided kind.
Right.
Just the. In fact,
Does
what
it
I'm going to do
matter?
is cut a bit out first to make it easier for myself rather than wrestling with this rather large.
You get a lot with your interfacing. I think it's 1 metre by 1 metre, so plenty to work with there. And it's one of those things, have it in your stash, because when you need it, you need it. And if it means that you have to delay a project because you haven't got it, what a shame that would be. For $2.95, pop it in your basket for 1 metre by 1 metre.
So we'll get the large bit out of the way.
Someone from
Makes
Manchester
more
has already
sense.
bought this today. Was it you?
So, not while I'm here, no.
I didn't mean like this second. There's multitasking.
I'm magically on my phone down here. No. Oh, that's nice. People from Manchester watching. Hello. So, all I've done for the heart... You
and hello to the rest of the country.
And, of course, everybody watching, hello. Get me in trouble. So, for the heart, all I did was print this out. And I think it was it Jennifer on a show the other day did the cactuses and mentioned colouring book pages and printing out things from colouring you know, or copying colouring book pages to applique things, because you've just got the outline of the design, which is fantastic. And
check your copyright.
It is check copyright for personal use only. But I did. This is what I did. I just entered on a search engine. Heart template, and it just comes up with lots of images of different hearts. So I just printed that out, and I'm just tracing.
All these copyright-free hearts.
I'm just, but you can see it says heart because
just it's from in case there was
just in case you weren't sure what it was from. Yeah. So it did come from a colouring page website, but you'll find lots of different ones. So I'm just using, or just draw your own, just freehand. But I always find. You were saying earlier that stars are tricky, hearts are tricky to get them even, and you can't. You know, there is the trick where you can just do the half and fold it in half, and then do that. But even so, somehow when I do it, it never works out.
Really, because I like to get Producer Hannah says some people just don't have any luck with their hearts.
Oh, Hannah,
it
was joyous a minute ago, and.
No, we're sobbing.
We love you. Does that help?
Aww. Yeah, sometimes they're not plump, and I want a plump heart.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's why I picked that one. Yeah, look
nice
how lovely. It's
heart.
Lovely. Yes. Yeah. I like that. So
who knew there was so much detail in a heart?
I think that's the easiest way of doing it, but you can just draw it. Poor Hannah. You just draw it out, or however you want, and you don't have to do a heart. If you don't want to do a heart, you can do anything that you like.
Yes.
Get creative.
Yes.
So I've chosen the lovely floral print to make my heart. And then what I would do is, because I'm going to iron this on and then cut on the line.
I turned it on. Yes.
Yeah, great. So then what I can do, you can do this from the front initially if you want to, if you can see that more clearly, to find where you want...
the best place, isn't it?
Finding the best place to put it. So if you want to do it from the front, go ahead, but don't iron it on the front. Whatever you do it from the back. So I might want it like that, or I might want it that side. Well, with something like this, and it does just so happen that the heart nicely fits that motif in the centre there. But when I'm fussy, I mean, you wouldn't bother with something like that to try and fussy. There's nothing to fussy cut. So you're looking for something that's got a larger scale print, perhaps, if you're doing something bigger, or just something that you can focus on, that you can make central, that's going to give you a nice finish when you cut out the shape. So I can use the points there. I might want to move that up a little bit and try and get most of that design.
Yeah, well, it's pretty, isn't it? Get it in
the centre there, so you can see that. And obviously, you're going to cut some of it, but it doesn't matter. It's just nice to have a focus, because if I did it, sorry, Natasha, if I did it like that, that's fine. It just gives it a different look. But it is nice to have something. You're not happy about that at all, are you? Look at that face. She was going,
You know what I was thinking about? You know, sometimes you get those things around social media and it's like 49 pictures that will make people that like things, you know, organised, very upset.
Yes. That's
it
one
was that
of them.
moment.
Yeah, so shall I cut it like that?
No!
See, now the funny thing is about that, I would intentionally do that sometimes. I would.
I know.
Because I quite like a little bit off.
Get it back.
Okay, it's back. Calm down.
And
I like, actually, by doing this, I'm just capturing that little blue flower at the bottom. I like that as well.
Nice.
Yeah, does that make it better?
Yeah, no, that makes it all better. I saw a friend of mine who's moved away. I saw her, I caught up with her and her little one. We were bump buddies. We had babies at the same time.
That's nice.
And,
sorry.
And she was laughing about the fact that her son... It's all right, just destroy my snails, it's fine.
Sorry.
Snail down.
Now, I'm just going to check.
Oh, you got it on the right? Yeah.
Yeah. Shiny side down, papery
Do you know
side
what? Just
up.
in case it's too hot, I'm just...
Oh, yeah, good idea.
And she said that her son likes to line his dinosaurs up. He's the same age as Freddie, 3. He likes to line his dinosaurs up absolutely in order. And so sometimes they just come along and just turn one round. and he's straight in there.
That's torturous, poor child.
But he notices. He also would have been upset by that heart.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I am like that with certain things. But I think with patchwork, and what's nice about it is just moving something off slightly makes a huge difference. It makes a really big difference to your quilt. And so it depends what look you're going for. If I was going to use that fabric in the hearts, in all of the hearts in that quilt, I might have the block that I'm using in the centre as the focus and fussy cut it so it was in the middle. And then the other hearts have the flowers slightly off because I don't want them to be the focus.
I'd let you do
see
that.
What I mean? Yes, there you go, thanks.
Just so that you know.
I have permission from
Just so
Natasha,
that you know.
so it's all good, yeah. But that way your eye is drawn down into the middle of the quilt where you've got that floral focus and you've still got the pretty flowers in the corners, but it's not drawing as much attention to it. So
attention-seeking flowers.
Attention-seeking flowers. So I'm just going to cut it out on the line.
On the line.
On the line.
Producer Hannah says that we are in single figures for the Pardon My Garden Fat Quarter bundle. So if you are after this array of delightful fabrics, and they are just so pretty. I don't know if I have one that's more favourite than this. This might be my most favourite.
Tilda collection.
Yeah, I don't know, although I do love the bumblebees.
I love the bumblebees too. Even so, there are just, I mean, this floral in particular.
It's particularly good.
Really love
and
it.
a timeless classic.
Yes.
That's what I love about it. And it's got a fabulous name too, Pardon My Garden. Brilliant. Do you know, when I was growing up, we had curtains in a similar sort of style of fabric. And actually, I saw them again. I went to stay with my mum and dad over Mothering Sunday, and Mum had put them up in the spare bedroom. And we've had those for years. But it's a timeless classic.
Yes.
And you just go, that works. That absolutely works. And that's how I always think of Tilda.
Yes.
That whatever you're making with this, it's going to stand the test of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very clever with their fabrics like that.
So that I've just cut out the bit that had the interfacing on.
Yes.
Because then again, I've got, I'll show you the actual nice print. All that much left over, okay? Because I've only used that one half.
But you could, of course, also use that elsewhere.
You could. And you can use that bit to applique smaller shapes. So if I wanted to do a little heart, you know, I could put little hearts in the corners or something. If my corners didn't meet up, if my points didn't match perfectly on a quilt, I could cut out a little heart and applique
That's
that.
Hannah's broken heart.
No one need ever know. Natasha, I can't believe you've just said that. Oh, I'll mend it for you, Hannah.
We can stitch it back together. It's all good.
That's what patchworking's all about.
Absolutely, and it will be beautiful and original.
So this is a square that I'm going to applique my heart onto. My lovely full heart.
I think we've depressed her more than
I know,
she was feeling.
That's
Sorry,
not
producer
good.
Hannah.
So all I've done is I've just folded that in half.
Yeah.
And just a little light finger press so that I can see where the crease is.
Yeah.
And then I can match up the points of the heart with that crease so that I know it's in the middle, and then I can just move it so it's
and of course those greens working so well together there. Absolutely gorgeous.
And then I'm going to applique this on. You can use, in the original one I used some blanket stitch on the machine.
Yes, you did.
This one, I think I'm just going to top stitch around.
Why
just using, I'm going to change the foot on the machine because I don't want the 1/4 inch foot for that. So just top stitch around so it'll be a bit like a raw edge.
But it won't fray because you've interfaced. Will it?
No, it will it will eventually. It will. Yeah, it's not. That won't hold it permanently.
Maybe so. If you wanted it to not.
If you wanted it not to fray at all, you need to do a satin stitch, a zigzag, a blanket stitch, any kind of a decorative stitch that's going to cover the edges of fabric. So if you've got a lot of embroidery stitches, you know, you can have a little experiment, have a play with some other fabric,
Some
and then
machines
do
have
any.
a heart as a decorative stitch.
They do a
a
heart,
heart within
or,
a heart.
even like a leaf.
Oh, nice.
Kind of, you know, but it needs to be something that's, you know, going to hold it in place. You don't want something that's got a lot of gaps in it, is what I'm saying. You want something that's...
Oh, you want it
going
to stand the test of time.
Yes.
These are heirloom pieces that you're creating with your Tilda, because the fabric is so classic and it just is always going to be... That's the blanket stitch, by the way. It's always going to be in fashion. It's always going to be in style. And because you're using such a beautiful print, you're going to want it forever. So, like Lucy says, you know, use a stitch that's going to work. Now, we're using the Elegance 680. This is your machine.
It is.
Now, you see Lucy's... Oh, no, you can't because we're looking at a different thing. But if you had been looking at Lucy just a second ago... Quick, do what you did.
What did I do? This?
Yeah.
Yes.
In there is the whole array of stitches that the machine comes with, so you can pick whichever decorative stitch you wish to use. Got oodles in there, haven't you?
Yeah, there's
there's the hearts.
Yeah, there's hearts there. I don't have time for that, but it would look lovely. Or like,
said like a romantic.
Yeah,
I haven't got time for that.
I haven't got time for that.
Forget that. Yeah.
Like that swirly one would look really nice.
Yeah, you've
or,
got some
you know,
leaves
there's
and
lots
things
of
as well.
Even that one or this one, because that would hold. That would, because it's got the little lines on it. That would hold your applique down well, and you could. You might have to have a little play, but you could position it so that the central line of that stitch is running along the edge of the heart, and then you've got, so a bit like a blanket stitch, you've got some going one way, some going the other way.
Have you seen number 85? Look, I didn't know. I've only just noticed. Look,
Well, I saw...
you've got needle, thread and scissors as a stitch.
Angela-
I love this machine.
Angela did a cushion, and it's in the office. I saw it just earlier. It's absolutely beautiful, Angela, and she demonstrated some of the different stitches, and she used that. And I was looking at it, going, "Oh my gosh, that's scissors and a spool, and where's that come from?" And then I was like, "That must be on my machine." It's on your machine. You can do this. So I'm going to have a play and do it.
We've got the
at
Elegance.
home.
We digress completely. We've got
sorry.
this Elegance 680. Well, you've got it at home. We've got it on the website for anybody that wants an all singing, all dancing, fabulous machine. I think on this you can even build your own stitch. So you could even do your own stitch that had needle, thread, and scissors,
it's got a memory
and it would.
for it. Yeah, I need time to play. I do. So I'm using. This is the.
We're using a straight stitch.
Yeah, this is the foot. I'm using a straight stitch. After all that, I'm just going to use a straight stitch, but in fact,
But you had the choice.
I'm going to lengthen it slightly.
Oh, there you go. That makes you feel better.
It makes me feel better. It's going to be a bit longer. That's more interesting. But I'm using foot F on this machine, which is it's an applique foot, and it has a little groove that helps me follow around the outside, which is really handy as well. So
it's got all this machine, hasn't it?
It really does. Yeah, it does. I'm just going to do it quite quickly, and just go around the outside because I'm conscious of time, and I want to show you the how to do the ribbon blocks as well.
Oh yeah, we've got that, haven't we, as well
Yeah.
to do? Gosh. Oh, whilst you whiz around that then with your long straight stitch, then I'm going to tell you a few more things about the 680EX Elna sewing machine, which we're just very excited about. It's 170 built-in stitches, including those amazing scissors. Alphabet and numbers and 10 styles of buttonhole. You've got your 9mm stitch width. Normally it's only about 5mm. This is a that's wide. You've got a large workspace as well, so hence why you bought it, perfect for those quilts. Automatic thread cutting. It's amazing how much thread you save. Large extension table, 91 needle positions. Hello. And a pivot pin for circular sewing. Circles. Hard to draw, even harder to sew. And that pivot pin is exclusive to Elna, and it's a really handy piece of kit. We need to show that in a whole other show. You've also got a knee lifter for hands-free sewing. When you're juggling your material and you're maybe doing a big quilt or curtains or whatever, and you can't get your hands in the right position, it's got a knee lift and it lifts it perfectly. Our price, £999. And worth every penny, I'd just like to say.
It is.
And you think so too?
I think so, yes. I'm very pleased with it.
Oh, hang on. I've just been asked to remind you about the natural wadding, the £8.95 natural wadding. We talked about how great this is earlier. That's if I put it up the right way. I only have one job to do, and that's hold stuff. And I can't even do that sometimes. Warm and natural, 100% cotton. Now, I'll tell you what it says on the hand. Only the highest grade 100% cotton fibres were selected to be punched with hundreds of needles. This is a little bit drastic, isn't it? Through a strong, thin base material. OK, so this needling process holds the fibres together without glue, and your needle will easily glide through your quilt. So it's been done for a purpose. It means it's easy and good to use. And then it says it in Spanish.
Good.
Yeah, which I won't read.
Please don't.
No, I won't. But that's when we say that it's punched, because I didn't really understand why it had to be punched. I was like, why do you need that? But it kind of holds it all together, holds it in place, and makes it easy for you to use. It's one of many things that it does. It's good.
It is. It's very good. It helps prevent sort of beading and things as well if it's been needle punched.
And with this, you can you can quilt 10 inches apart with this.
Yes.
So actually, you wouldn't have to do any extra quilting on this if you didn't want to. If you just quilted down the lines of your finished squares.
Yes.
Because it's good quality.
Yep.
That's the one. Excellent. And on top of that, it has already been washed. You don't have to, but it does give you instructions if, like Sammy, you have to wash everything.
Well,
anyway.
some people, because cotton wadding will shrink. So I know I teach a beginner's quilting class with my lovely friend Alison, who gave me these nice earrings. And she always prefers to soak her wadding before she uses it, because she doesn't like any shrinkage.
Okay.
And if you don't shrink it, then you'll get more of a vintagey look. It will go a bit more wrinkly.
Yeah.
But you can just put it in a tepid bath, soak it, and then put it for a spin in your washing machine and air dry it.
Yeah. It gives you all the instructions if you wish to pre-wash.
Okay, so I'm going to do the crosses. So I've just literally pulled some ribbon and just guesstimated and cut it off. So I know I've got a little bit left over from corner to corner. And then I could pin it, but I find it does shift, and it's a bit fiddly with the ribbon. So I'm going to use my trusted glue stick.
The trusty glue stick.
Which makes things so much easier. And I could have used this actually to applique the heart, but I was just rushing and didn't. But it had interfacing.
Quite frankly, I didn't.
Had interfacing on it anyway, so it was fine. So I'm just going to put a strip.
The glue stick is £5.95, and you get this glue stick, and then you get a refill as well. So you're kind of getting 2 glue sticks in there. Other refills are available. I don't mean that like when we say Google other search engines are available. I mean like the actual glue stick refills are available for this very pen. We're not being PC. It is actually available. £5.95 on that JTEQ.
A pack of refills is available.
Yes.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's what I needed to say. Yeah, would have made more sense. JTEQ 57. Words have been a problem all day today.
It's one of
for
those
all of
days.
us. Yeah. It started off with Hannah this morning, producer Hannah going, no long words.
So I've just stuck that down with the glue, and then I'll top stitch along both sides to hold that in position. So I'll do that quickly.
Do it. And it's okay to stitch over that glue?
Fine, absolutely fine. If you're sewing over a lot, a lot like this, after you've done it, you might just want to wipe your needle. But to be honest, I don't, and have never had a problem. No, you should change your needle after every project anyway. So there's that. Yes, you should. It makes such a difference.
But what if my project's only like...
But needles don't cost an awful lot of money, and you can damage your machine if you're using dull needle, and then it can damage your bobbin case and everything. So, and the needle's doing a lot of work when you think about it. Change your needle, Natasha. Is that you told?
You're going to tell me next I need to get it serviced as well, aren't you?
Well, you can clean it yourself. But yes, you should have your machine serviced. It's an investment, isn't it, a sewing machine? So you should look after it.
I do get them serviced.
Good girl.
Yeah, Lucy, the mum Brennan, is on the show today. Looking after us all, which is lovely, and quite frankly what we need.
Telling you off.
Honestly, joking apart, I didn't realise that you have to change your needles as regularly. They say otherwise after every 8 hours of sewing. Yeah. Because a project, how big's a project? A project is a movable feast, isn't it? So as a guideline, after every 8 hours of solid sewing, not like, I happen to be sat there and in front of it for 8 hours, but only sewed for 5 minutes. Don't do it then.
And I use, I use a different needle for piecing than I do for quilting anyway, so I change my needle. I do all my piecing with a needle that I like to use for piecing. Right. And then when it comes to quilting, I change my needle to one that's appropriate for quilting.
Gosh.
Yes.
Wow. I feel
Maybe we can do a needle
whole
show
just on appropriate needles and how to use them.
Yes. Yeah.
There's another show idea there for you. And I think I wouldn't be alone in being the only one that would need to see that. Because it's unless you actually go on a workshop or read your manual.
Yeah.
How many of us have actually done that?
But it's not always in your manual. It will tell you that you need to change your needle, but it's not going to tell you what needle you need to use for what. And there's so many different types of needles, so
yeah,
it is a whole thing, and they vary from brand to brand as well.
Some of the books, like the A to Z of sewing and things like that, they have a whole chart on what needle to use, and books like that are brilliant. We had that on the show yesterday. So maybe you've got reference books that have it in, but otherwise. I think we should use you for that.
Use me, yeah. Just ask me, I'll tell you what. But it is a recommendation, it's only a recommendation and...
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
I really like the glue pen.
I like it so much, you're keeping it from me.
Yes. Loads of you watching today, loving the show, amazingly. Because,
for the comedy value.
Actually, no, saying it's very informative.
Oh, thank you.
You, obviously.
Thank you.
And your knowledge.
Thank you.
Oh, and entertaining. Wow.
So you could, if you wanted to, use a different coloured ribbon. You could mix and match and have a different colour if you wanted to. I'm just going with the same because it's there. So I'm just going to do the same thing and just top stitch along.
These ones aren't.
What?
Because it's there.
Because it's those are there. Yeah.
Are you going to put different ones?
I quite like matchy.
Oh, now she likes matchy.
I know, for the ribbons.
I know, I love this, but it's all about that design, though, isn't it? And I tease you mercilessly, obviously, but it is.
That's what I'm here for.
Your design choice, isn't it?
Yes.
So, are you going to use red on all of them?
No, I would mix it up. I will use red, and then I use the red and the blue in that one. But I think with these, I would use them all.
Would you?
Yeah, because I do think it goes really nicely.
And that's why you laid them all out, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the pink with the green is beautiful. So I might use 2 of the cream ones, 1 red and 1 blue.
Why not?
Yeah,
you can, and you can too if you have the ribbon, which is available from here. Apparently it's coming up any second. There we go, £9.95 for your Tilda set of ribbons. But actually, even if you're making Tilda bags or whatever, use it as an accent, as a highlight, as just a pretty little extra. And because, oh, sorry, what were you saying, producer Hannah? Maybe you've made a quilt as a really special gift, and as you tie it up, to give it. Or if you've done a wonky line like I probably would have done, just stick a ribbon over the top.
I would, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can put it on your seams. So once I've sewn the ribbon down, I just trim the corners because I left that... You want to leave some extra because you don't want it not to go all the way into the corner. So you want it going all the way into the corner. So I'm just going to trim off literally just
Now
using
it's
the
in
fabric
place.
as a guide and just trim off all the corners of the ribbon. So I'd do all of that, and then once I've sewn all my pieces together, I've got my heart in the centre, I would lay it out how I wanted it, and then and I would always do that at every step. So when I've cut out the fabric, I'd lay the fabric out to decide where I wanted it to go, what I was going to applique on which bit, and then once I've sewn them, I will lay it out again, because I might change my mind, and I don't want to have sewn it together and then gone, I wish I'd put that one there and that one there. So once I've done the appliqued the ribbon, done the hearts, I would lay it out again to see, do I like that or don't I?
Would you leave it overnight and come back to it?
I tend to make decisions quite
do you? Snap
snappily.
decisions?
I do, and I do tend to go with my gut, and even sometimes I'll move things around and then go, no, the first one was definitely the best one.
Right first time.
Yeah, I was right first time. But it's I do think it's nice to play and just see, and even move it to something you don't think you'd like, because you might discover something that you
I did that with my wedding dress.
Did you?
I was going to have a really slinky wedding dress, and then my friend Kate said, no, you have to, it's the law, you have to try on the biggest, floofiest dress in the shop. So I did, and in 2 different dress shops, they put me in exactly the same big floofy dress, and that ended up being my dress.
Really?
So, you might end up going with something that you didn't think. Anyway, Tilda Pardon My Garden is what we're using here. And it is just one of my all-time favourite Tilda fabrics, and this is how it will come to you. Obviously, we've rummaged through all of ours. Let me show you, because we've only got single figures of these left. So if you are after it, then please be quick about it. Whoops. Okay, so let's just flick through very quickly, because you're getting 9 fat quarters, and they are gorgeous, spring-like. Well, no, that's a summer bloom. I say spring, and then I've pull that one out of the bag. But it's just, it works. You've got your blues and your greens and your pinks in here. Your greens are sort of an avocado. Sorry, producer Hannah, say avocado again. I know you're hungry. And then you've got your blues in there again with the pinks. But of course, if you've got your Tilda Sweetheart range, then you can pull the pinks from that. And again, it works. That's the beauty of Tilda. It's so thoughtfully put together that you can use the other ranges. It's not like you can only use that. It's the law. Absolutely not. Mix and match them together. They work a treat. Absolutely beautiful. That's your 9 that you're getting with your Pardon My Garden. And of course, we also have your Tilda Sweetheart. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at Lucy.
I'm sorry that I
gorgeous.
didn't get to put it together, but I did put it together when I did it originally. So if
you
you
knew
want
where
to
you
look
wanted.
back, you can see the first show I did where I put the quilt together. But this gives you an idea of how it would look in these fabrics, and how I've positioned them. So I've a dark and a dark, a paler and a paler, all blue,
and
then opposite corners of the same fabrics.
Nice.
There. And then I did have one left over, which would become the binding.
Ooh,
There you go.
what size binding?
I like to cut my binding at 2.5. You could do 2 1/4.
Okay. Good stuff. Just stunning. Oh, the wadding again. Let me just... Wadding / batting. Very, very popular, very busy. Producer Hannah, are we sold out of the white one now? Oh, there are 2 left of the white one if you wanted. But otherwise, Warm and Natural is the same as the white one that we had on the earlier show. But they've left it as the natural colour. Very, very popular. Great price at just $8.95. R0RW27. This is 45 inches by 60 inches. That is 115 centimetres by 150 centimetres. There or thereabouts. Perfect for babies.
All my babies' quilts were made with that wadding.
Really?
With the natural, yeah. All my babies' quilts.
Why?
I like using cotton for babies. Some people like using polyester because it's easy to wash, but cotton's breathable. So I like the cotton.
There you go. And so if you are making this for a baby... would it get that far? I don't know. It's Tilda, it's beautiful. I don't know that I would give it to a baby. Maybe I could just hang it on the wall.
Yes, it would be a nice wall.
It would be a beautiful
It's a nice
wall
size
hanging.
actually for a wall hanging. It is lovely. Or even on the back of a chair, something like that.
Could you imagine sticky fingers on that? No. No. Do another one.
Oh, you just wash it. You just
Yeah,
wash it.
it can all be washed. What have we got coming up tomorrow, I hear you ask? We'll find out in just a moment. Producer Hannah's trying... Are you here?
Sewing.
How
Yeah.
are you?
English paper piecing I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, very nice. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday?
Yeah.
You'll be doing that with John.
I am.
Oh, he'll love that.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I'm going to teach him a thing or two tomorrow.
Hey, always informative. Thank you so much for joining us today. Lucy, thank you so
Natasha,
much.
thank
I will see you
you.
Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Sewing Quarter is at the very heart of sewing as we bring you all things sewing and quilting. The team behind us live and breathe sewing day to day. We strive to bring you exclusive offers, exciting live demonstrations, and most importantly, we will custom cut fabric to your specification in our very own cutting room. We will also be bringing you TV exclusives that you won't be able to find anywhere else. So come and join us today at the Sewing Quarter.
Welcome to the Sewing Quarter.